public conversations. Those who can pay the most for followers can buy their way to apparent influence. Devumi advertises itself on websites as selling online followers for various social media platforms, including Pinterest and YouTube. It promises Twitter users they can buy up to 500,000 additional followers from the company, which describes itself as committed to the goal of increasing your social media presence and credibility with guaranteed results. The company, which did not respond to questions on Saturday, told The Times it did not sell fake users or steal real people's identities. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
A new trend in offices across the country. More and more people are switching to fetal position desks so that they can curl up in a ball on the floor while they work. Aaron Vaughn has a story.
The human body isn't meant to sit at a desk for 6 or 7 hours. The natural position, especially in the workplace, is to shut down completely, return to a womb-like state, and rock back and forth to soothe yourself.
Fetal position desks, which are even popping up in offices like Google and Facebook, come in a variety of shapes and sizes. Some have adjustable height so you can cower underneath them, while more expensive options include a warm, pulsating blanket for workers to wrap themselves in to feel calm. But many people are making their own.
I've rigged this up so I can type comfortably and my arms won't get tired. Plus, it's got speakers so I can listen to a comforting voice saying shh over and over again.
I've tried a fetal position desk myself, and I can say it's a great way to get through the f***ing day.
Thanks, Aaron. I hate my job.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. Of course, you can bring up whatever you want. Live Sunday edition of the program, as always. You can join us here. 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. The Skype username is LRN.FM. And you can join us on the new LRN Discord. We do have an on-air call-in line option for you there, so check out discord.lrn.fm to get involved, and you can chat with other Free Talk Live listeners basically around the clock, at least a lot of the times. It's Ian, Johnny Ray, and Mark in the studio with you here tonight. And I've got a story that's pretty disturbing from The Verge about license plate tracking devices being used, of course, by the government in this case, specifically ICE, the Immigrations and Customs Enforcement Department. Yes, that's right. According to Garrett Beard over at TheVerge.com, the agency has officially gained agency-wide access to a nationwide license plate recognition database, according to a contract finalized earlier this month. The system gives the agency access to billions of license plate records and the new powers of real-time location tracking. Did you realize that we were there? Because we're there now. Technologically, apparently.
I guess I knew that it was going to be the case. I didn't know that they would trumpet that that was the case. So they're doing that.
I figured that we were there.
Yeah.
I just feel like every day waking up that we're in the Panopticon.
Now, I think that here in New Hampshire, we may not be included in this nationwide license plate database because I don't believe that it is legal here. And now
I think that law has been overturned.
You think so?
I would check with our resident expert, Daryl W. Perry.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think that they have these cameras here in New Hampshire.
They may not have too many cameras, but I mean, they've got a list of license plates and to whom they belong.
No, but this is talking about real-time tracking. So maybe you've seen in like Florida, for instance.
There's not a lot of illegal aliens that have to worry about their travel in New Hampshire, Ian.
There's plenty of people here from all over the world. People from Canada, for instance. Anyway, in Florida, I remember seeing on the side of the road these cameras that were just sort of mounted on poles, pointed at various different points on the interstate, up and down the different directions on the interstate. And they just seem to be there for no other purpose than monitoring people's, movements. And so I think that's probably one of the things that this technology is based on, is this huge network, this huge database, all of this information that is coming in about where people are. The source of the data is not named in the contract, but an ICE representative said it came from Vigilant Solutions, the leading network for license plate recognition data. Quote, like most law enforcement agencies, ICE uses information obtained from license plate readers as one tool in support of its investigations, said their spokesbureaucrat Danny Bennett in a statement. He said further, ICE is not seeking to build a license plate reader database and will not collect nor contribute any data to a national public or private database through this contract. Well, of course they're not going to build the database. It's already been built for them by this private company. Research by The Verge, Vigilant declined to confirm any contract with ICE, and they said in a statement that they're not at liberty to share any contractual details. It's a standard agreement between our company partners and our clients. While it collects few photos itself, Vigilant Solutions has amassed a database of more than 2 billion license plate photos by ingesting data from partners like vehicle repossession agencies and other private groups. Vigilant also partners with local law enforcement agencies, often collecting even more data from camera-equipped police cars. The result is a massive vehicle tracking network generating as many as 100 million sightings per month, each of them tagged with a date, time, and GPS coordinates of the sighting. ICE agents would be able to query that database in 2 ways. A historical search would turn up every place a given license plate has been spotted in the last 5 years. A detailed record of the target's movements. That data could also be used to find a given subject's residence, or even identify associates if a given car is regularly spotted in a specific parking lot. Quote, knowing about the previous locations of a vehicle can help determine the whereabouts of subjects of criminal investigations or priority aliens to facilitate their interdiction and removal. The official privacy assessment explains. In some cases where other leads have gone cold, the availability of commercial LPR data may be the only viable way to find a subject. Now, there's probably some people out there, and there's more to the story, but there's probably some people out there who are heralding this, and they're cheering it, and they're saying, all right, now we can go and get those criminals. We can go and get those violent, dangerous criminals and those immigrants, many of whom aren't violent and dangerous, but we can get them, and we can finally round them up and do what needs to be done. This is a good thing. Why could anybody be against helping law enforcement come after bad people?
Generally, I just don't like the idea of the government collecting more and more data on us. That there's generally nothing good about the government knowing where you're going and what you're doing.
But what if
it
helps catch a murderer? What if it helps catch a rapist?
One murderer and one rapist? Is that what we're talking about here?
If it saves just one life.
But what if it helps them to subjugate an entire society and destroys creativity in the process? One thing that we know for certain is that autocratic societies have a lack of innovation and creativity, and that free societies tend to have a larger amount of that. Would you be willing to trade all of half of the creativity and half of the innovation that we have seen in the United States for the capture of one rapist and one murderer? Or would it be 10 rapists and 10 murderers? Exactly what is the value of a rapist and a murderer in a society that has shown the most creativity and the most innovation in the history of man? As we continue to crank down on freedom, you crank down on the things that make America great.
Now, who
yes,
said
you
this
can
was
have an orderly society. Genghis Khan, it is claimed that a maiden could carry a basket of gold on her head from one side of his gigantic empire to the other. That suggests a highly ordered society. It took 60 million deaths to get there. Let's not forget what the cost of order is if that order is all about law and order. We need these people in this world. We need guardians to protect us from bad things. But let's not forget what it takes to get there, to get this perfectly ordered society where we don't have murders and rapes and all these other things.
And that's the ideal. I suspect if the U.S. went fully totalitarian on border protection, all you would see is a cottage industry develop among the bureaucrats for taking bribes to get people over the border. So instead of in a
they still do that right now.
In a place where you've got free market borders where people are responsible for their own property, and you've got it managed by the public, you wouldn't stop immigration. You just enrich the bureaucrats.
Well, this is talking about sort of immigration generally, and I'm for the idea of bringing hardworking ethical people to the United States and keeping out the slouches and all those sorts of things. I think that there's a great argument about how freedom can come about doing that. But this is more about the, yet another highly invasive government program being popped in with the intention of stopping some problem that it may or may not really fix.
Now, wait a minute. How is this highly invasive? I mean, you're still going to be able to drive around the roads. In fact, this is a way to avoid checkpoints. I mean, look, if they want to stop the immigrants, they can either set up checkpoints outside of everywhere or just let everybody drive around and just know where everyone is at every single moment in time. How's that invasive? You're driving around out in public. Shouldn't it be possible to know where you are at every single moment?
Sure. So first we need to consider that most things are illegal. That at this point in the United States' development in the world as far as a Western democracy or whatever term one wishes to use, a republic, whatever, I don't care. But that there are enough laws on the books that if they want to, law enforcement can choose to put you under if that's what they wish to do. So now you don't have a nation of people, citizens, taxpayers. You have a nation of criminals. So do you want the government? You are a criminal. Listener, you are a criminal. Do you want the government to be able to track you? Yeah, I'll go ahead and go for this if we pare down the statute list in each state and the federal government by 90%. Sure.
If you want to join us here, your thoughts on being tracked everywhere you drive, the toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom, 855-450-3733. You can join us on the radio, live Sunday edition. It's Free Talk Live.
She seems happier. Her fur is so much shinier, silkier, softer. She has really mellowed a lot.
Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog. For life.
The shedding has stopped. The itching has stopped.
Since 2001, we've helped more than 250,000 dogs get over their nutritional deficiency miseries.
And saved our customers bazillions in vet bills.
Everything we tried failed except the Dinovite.
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
The digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Dinovite is nutrition.
Dinovite for life.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dinovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. 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 I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
Free Talk Live, the show where anyone can call about whatever they want. And we do mean anyone.
Homeland Security teaching the Boy Scouts of America to do black ops missions and destroy
Hold on a second.
veterans returning.
Did you just say that they are training the Boy Scouts to do black op missions?
Of course they are. There's funding from the Department of Homeland Security. There's grants and
Wait, what kind of black ops are we talking about here? Just like spying on the neighbors, seeing if they're putting their recycling in the wrong bin, or what?
It goes deeper than that. To teach the 12 and 13, 14-year-olds how to do paintball stuff, and the target is supposedly disgruntled veterans.
What?
They're preparing them to take on returning veterans that have been labeled disgruntled. That's part of the
They're
indoctrination.
preparing the Boy Scouts to take them on? Like what, in a firefight? To hand-to-hand combat?
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern. Live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. Of course, you can dial in toll-free, take control of the airwaves here on the live Sunday edition of the show. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well, so Skype on in at Skype username LRN.FM. In the studio tonight, it's Ian,
Johnny Ray,
and Mark. I love Whole Food Multi-Complete. I have been taking this multi for years at this point. Well, for over a year now, I can say that with certainty. And it's great because it's not made with synthetic stuff. It's made with food. And it also contains, beyond vitamins and minerals, which are great stuff, it has an enzyme blend, a probiotic blend, an antioxidant blend, immune support, bone and joint support, energy support, everything you need in the day, everything the average person needs in a day. It's got it at Whole Food Multi-Complete. It's so much better than anything that you've been taking in all likelihood that I'm just confident in providing you with the information about it and endorsing it. I lost about 15 pounds just starting to take it because it balanced my gut, the probiotic in there. I wasn't taking probiotic regularly. I'd taken a few times, but that change really made a difference for me. Go check them out at simplifymysupplements.com. It's Whole Food Multi-Complete. It's simplifymysupplements.com. And if you use coupon code FTL, you receive 10% off your order. That's every order, every time. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. They take Bitcoin and Dash. SimplifyMySupplements.com.
All right. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. We're going to continue. We'll take your calls and thoughts more about the Immigrations and Customs Enforcement and their disturbing, I think Panopticon was the word that one of you guys used earlier.
That must have been Johnny Ray. He's a Panopticon kind of guy.
This disturbing grid of license plate tracking systems that they're now going to have access to, which will be allowing them to track your movements for as many as 5 years back. We'll continue with your calls and thoughts, though. First, we got Matthew on the line listening in Louisiana, watching us on our webcam at cam.freetalklive.com. Hello, Matthew.
Hey, how y'all doing?
What's on your mind tonight?
Well, I was calling. This kind of bounces off a call that somebody made to Rush. So a young lady made a phone call to Rush and asked Rush, how does he inform himself? Where does he get his news? And where can he get news that he believes is 100% accurate? So I'm going to ask y'all that same question.
I don't think
you can inform yourself.
I don't think you can rely on any particular news source to be 100% accurate.
Heck no. Any news story is going to not be 100% accurate. Every single news story that we've ever been involved in.
Yeah, there's always some slippery fact that they didn't get quite right. So,
and it was probably an honest mistake in a lot of cases, but they just don't get it right a lot of the times.
I sincerely hope nobody listens to Free Talk Live and says, this organization always speaks the truth, because although we'll do our best to speak our highest truth at that moment, people's truths change over time. Yeah. And also,
we've been straight up fooled by fake news before.
Yeah, fake news sometimes
had to take it back
later. You got to say something, and somebody may hear the fake news, but they don't hear the retraction.
Sure.
So please go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I absolutely believe that does happen, but being in the oil industry, we're being attacked all the time as being the enemies of mankind.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like everybody in with a journalism degree believes in anthropogenic global warming, also known as man-made global warming, and CO2 is going to kill us all. And you really have to dig to find a contrary opinion that seems to have any kind of validity. It makes me crazy. And also, I'm a gun enthusiast. And let me ask you a question. Have you heard of a person being assaulted by a bat, being assaulted by a Batman?
A Batman?
Oh, a gunman versus a Batman, yeah.
You never hear that sort of twisted wordage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what the particular problem is with the term gunman, but I do kind of think that it dehumanizes in some way. But I've heard it used for even troops in foreign countries will be referred to as gunmen or terrorists and things like that in different places. It doesn't always happen in the U.S.
I think the good news about where we are in the world today, being 2018, the internet having been with us for a few decades now at this point, is that we don't have to rely on mainstream media to get our news and information and opinion. There's an unlimited supply, or a seemingly unlimited supply of it online.
Sure
now,
is.
How much of it is well researched, how much of it is honest journalism, we don't really know. But the more sources that you have, the better informed you're going to be, at the very least, about the opinions of the people in the news, because it's pretty clear that most news agencies have a bias. And even if they don't announce it from the rooftops what their bias is, anybody who pays attention for long enough can probably figure it out. And so as long as you know what you're getting...
And most of the time, their bias is definitely anti-liberty.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But that's just true across the board, whether they be conservatives or liberals or whatever. Most people in the news industry, they were raised in the government schools. They went to government-funded colleges. And so they were taught that, the state is necessary. Whether they agree or disagree on any one given government program is another question. But ultimately, they all are anti-liberty. I mean, most of them are. I mean, every now and then you'll find a rarity like a John Stossel, somebody who's managed to actually have a successful career within mainstream journalism and still is, out there.
Yeah, they're educated by a monopoly.
Well, somebody left a red pill in his candy jar.
Something happened, yeah.
Yeah. They're educated by a monopoly. And in many cases, they take courses on how monopolies are bad. It's fascinating stuff that somehow, teachers and students in classrooms across America can check out, U.S. history and call Standard Oil a monopoly when they had an 85% market share as a market maker.
That they naturally gained. As far as I know.
Well, I mean, they were early on. They were a market maker is probably the best term, not a monopoly. But, they're being actually educated by a monopoly that an organization that wasn't a monopoly was a monopoly, and that monopolies are bad and that we need a monopoly to break the monopolies.
They hate corporations, but they never blame the big corporations known as the governments, because they're also corporate entities as well.
I'll tell you a great...
and mind you, they never criticize, except maybe behind their boss's back. They never come out and criticize the corporation that they're actually working for.
Right.
Now, I don't know how you feel about war versus peace, but I think the greatest source of foreign news is the foreign news that is, really topical is antiwar.com. That's a great place to find out.
I listened to Daryl W. Perry's antiwar.com, and I like the fact that he covers topics that nobody else covers. But the way he covers it, it sounds as though...
Daryl W. Perry was maybe in an episode. He's not the principal at antiwar.com. I think that is Scott Horton.
Right. He's not the principal, but the information he brings us is... It makes it sound as though if everybody would just come together and sing Kumbaya, everything would be wonderful, and that every time a bomb is dropped, the people it lands on are all civilians. The problem with the war situation is now, it's terrible, but you're having uniformed armies fighting people who won't...
Matthew, hold that thought. We'll let you finish it here in moments. It's Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists, get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I'm here to tell you about GCNtelecare.com, a team of board-certified doctors assisting you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Within 15 minutes of registration, care your family can afford. Revolutionizing the healthcare industry, virtual consulting providing diagnosis of non-emergency medical issues by phone or secure video on computer or smart mobile devices. GCNtelecare.com, virtual care anywhere.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, it's the live Sunday edition of the show. Of course, you can join us here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well, so Skype on in here at Skype username LRN.FM. And if you want to help build a better financial system for everyone, you can join Dash. It's Digital Cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast, it can be private and easy. Fees are low, transactions are quick, and can be confirmed instantly. You can pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime, for pennies on the dollar. It's Dash, and you can go to dash.org to learn more about it. It's decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Anyone can invest in Dash and earn rewards for helping run the Dash network. So join Dash and help create a better financial system for everyone. Take back control over your financial future today and find out more at dash.org. There's a lot of momentum behind Dash right now. Go to dash.org to find out more as we go to back to Matthew in Metairie, Louisiana. Matthew, you say you work in the oil industry. You're frustrated by the obvious bias across journalism, and you were trying to drive at a point when we had to run off there for a moment. So please go ahead with your thoughts if you didn't get them out.
Well, it's just that trying to find, I guess maybe it's never really existed. It's just we've never noticed it, but it's just so blatantly obvious now. I mean, you listen to CNN and it's our president is a Russian spy network, for God's sake. You listen to Fox News and the radio, most people don't, if you pay attention to the radio broadcast, you're thinking, these people are like what CNN used to be like. It's like this sort of left of center ground has now been abandoned, and so let's occupy that. I'm like, no, leave it alone. Nobody needs to be running around talking about more laws, more restrictions on freedom.
Now, you're saying you're hearing the radio go more left?
Yeah, Fox News Radio at the top and the bottom of the hour.
Really?
It's like, I don't know if the hosts who are conducting the major shows even listen to that, because I know for a fact that we have a local host who on WGSO down here who he has to go feed his parking meter during the radio breaks. Yeah, it happens. So.
Fox News has historically been right-leaning, so you're saying you've heard a shift in Fox News's top-of-the-hour news product to sound left?
Certainly the radio part of it. I don't get cable anymore. I disconnected because it's like I'm not learning anything.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting.
Anyway,
I don't pay any attention to any of these outlets, basically. I mean, if I happen to see a news story that's in one of them that's interesting for the show, I happen to come across it. I never actually go to CNN.com or FoxNews.com or MSNBC. I never am on the front pages of those websites. Oh, what's Fox talking about today? I'm not interested. It doesn't matter to me.
Well, he did ask, where does he go to find out this information? And I'd like to give him, a little bit. So first off, Ian and I have been doing this for 15 years, since 2002. Johnny Ray, you've been on the air with us for
on and off for 5 or 6 years.
5 or 6 years. So what I find is that when I read regular news stories, it's pretty easy for me to pick out a story that has a pro-liberty angle, and that's what we're generally going to bring to our audience, or an anti-liberty angle that I can then exploit for a pro-liberty message. But if you were asking for pro-liberty news sources, first I would say that freetalklive.com is a news aggregation site where listeners bring their stories, and many times they bring us great stories that we use on air and that sort of thing.
And those come from various different sources.
I've seen your all's website, and I'm thinking about using it more and more.
There's also a site that I use. I don't know if Ian uses it quite as much, but it's called Freedoms Phoenix. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com.
They've got way more stuff than Free Talk Live.
Ernest Hancock does more news aggregation as a single individual than...
I think he's got an editor.
Yeah, well, either way, they're working on it hard and doing it all the time. And
how about Reason?
Oh, Reason's a great source.
Well, I'm going to have to go.
Hey, thanks.
The missus is calling me. The dinner is getting cold.
Good idea. Thanks, Matthew. Good luck.
Good work.
The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Can anyone else think off the top of their heads? I mean, Foundation for Economic Education, they do some great detailed articles on certain topics.
If you
some
like
of
that
it's
digging in thing, yeah.
Some of it's news, some of it's sort of relevant to the moment, but not all of it.
A lot of the Ludwig von Mises blog stuff is good, but
haven't they gone right wing?
Well, not as right as some, but
haven't they
they always have been a
Border
bit,
Patrol?
They've always been a bit right. Yeah, I'm
and
only
the Mises,
saying.
And the Mises Foundation was founded by Lew Rockwell, right?
Yeah, I mean, so there's a lot of.
And his site used to be good. They used to have some good opinion articles that were usually relevant.
Just because
to what
you
was
disagree with him on one issue does not mean that the site is no longer good. You just
honestly,
have to
I don't know. I haven't been there in a long time. Right. I used to go there regularly, but then I heard them shifting towards being anti-immigration, and that was enough to turn me off.
When it comes to LewRockwell.com, I'm a single issue reader, and when Lou would come on with Tom Woods and talk about what a great businessman Donald Trump was.
Yeah, that's when they really started to jump the shark, right? Was when they went behind Trump.
I couldn't. I'm not interested in reading Lew Rockwell anymore. So now I read antiwar.com.
That's another good one. Antiwar.com.
Yeah.
The future, aside from specific websites, I think the future in the 21st century quest for truth is pretty bright.
Yeah.
With Internet 2.0, if I'm using the term correctly, the comment sections on news stories are the best part of them because
they're not.
I couldn't disagree more.
Why? You're joking, right?
No, I'm not joking.
Why are they the best part?
Because the people expressing their opinion are a little more candid, and they're not hedging their language like a journalist would.
Yeah, but it's usually just trash talk.
I guess so, but
if you've got the time to read through all that filth, I think that you can find some gems in it, but you probably do just as well working through somebody's septic tank and finding a diamond ring. I don't know. I tend to disagree, and I disagree entirely with that particular statement. But you should continue to do that if you find that to be a good way to get liberty-oriented ideas. I just think you can get so much better by reading a Reason blog, the Reason Hit and Run blog, than you could by going through the comments.
If you want to read a comment section, you're just looking for drama and you're looking for an S show. I mean, that's basically what you're going to get on most comments everywhere.
That's exactly what you get.
I think it depends on where you're at when you're reading the comments section. Because
where you're at?
Yes, where you, the reader, are, what website you're on, what source you're at. If you're at reason.org, for example, and you're reading comments in there,
they're going to be better educated there.
I think they're going to be a lot better than USA Today, where it's all about bummer and.
You know what I was hoping for was to start a radio program where people with different opinions, including liberty-oriented opinions, would call in and share their ideas in a fashion that would be reasoned. And taking an opportunity to look at the issues and maybe bring new ideas to the table and stuff like that. That to me rarely happens on Free Talk Live. Instead, we get
Ricky, Sarah, James.
Right. People calling in over and over again that may be entertaining for the average listener to hear this chorus of nincompoops, and whereas what I was hoping for was somebody. Well, gentlemen, I hear your opinion on this issue, but what I was really thinking is you might take a look at a different angle. And let me give you some ideas about.
That happened the other week with Stefan Kinsella. He sent us this really smart email that was way over my head. I couldn't handle it.
Yeah, he's a smart guy.
I got through that thing, and I felt like my brain was melting.
Well, I mean, I'd hoped to have Ian's brain melt on more occasions than not.
But that's not the same as when people call in. It's easier to have a conversation with somebody who's on the phone than an email.
Well, that's absolutely true. Is also what I find. So, for instance, on our Facebook page, is people will have different opinions. I think in many cases those opinions are wrong. And you can't hold somebody's to account. They get very slippery on Facebook. They'll answer a different question or whatever. I'm just not going to have a detailed conversation with you about an issue on Facebook because in most cases this goes very badly for me. I want to have a real conversation.
This is Free Talk Live. Our number here, if you want to join us on the radio, 855-450-FREE.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dinovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dinovite.
Everything we tried failed except the Dinovite.
Pick up 2 bottles of Super Mega Fish Oil.
Get the 3rd bottle free. Packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Dogs love it. Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dinovite.com.
DINOVITE.
ZENOVITE.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at Zencash.com. That's Zencash.com.
Aging is one thing that affects everyone. George has talked about the power of stem cells for years. Now, there's a new serum that harnesses that stem cell power to bring back your youthful look. Beverly Hills doctor Nathan Newman.
Stem cells are basically our fountain of youth. This is what maintains our body's reparative, regenerative abilities. As we age, every cell breaks down and needs to be replaced, and what replaces it is the stem cell.
Dr. Newman and Janess have developed Lumin-S. Lumin-S takes the science of stem cells, using the same growth factor complex that literally heals our cells, slowing the appearance of the aging process. Apply Lumin-S twice daily, and on average, see results in a week. Learn more, watch our video, and order today at a special Coast website, healthylooking.com. Plus, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. Again, that's healthylooking.com. Lumin-S, for a healthier, much younger, better-looking you. Buy now at healthylooking.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. It is the live Sunday edition of the program. Of course, you can join us on the air and take control of the airwaves at 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Here tonight, it's Ian,
Johnny Ray,
and Mark.
And don't forget to join our Discord. We've mentioned earlier that you can call through the Discord. That is something that is an option for you. In fact, I think it actually sounds in some cases better than Skype, which of course sounds better than the phone lines. So you'll sound almost like you're in the studio with us here, as long as your setup is pretty decent. Just go to discord.lrn.fm. And that allows you to get into a chat room system that has different rooms on sort of different topics. And, like there's a room dedicated to Free Talk Live and Call to Freedom, which is one of the weekday shows on LRN.FM. And then there's like a gaming subforum. There's a cryptocurrency discussion room. And there's also voice chat as well. So there's text chat and there's voice chat rooms there. So go and check it out. It's free to get involved. And the Discord app is available across all platforms. So, Linux, Mac, Windows, iOS, Android, you can get the app for whichever one of those you prefer or all of the above and put it on whatever devices you want to. So that way you can always have your Free Talk Live and LRN chats right in front of you wherever you go. Go to discord.lrn.fm as we go to he who is on the line from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Ricky, do you call in whenever you hear your name on the air, or do you not listen before you call?
Well, no, I generally listen, Brother Ian. Why? Was my name mentioned?
Yeah, it was.
Ian mentioned you.
Go ahead with your thoughts.
Oh, yeah, I just mentioned him now, but did you want to tell me what was talked about?
No,
I missed
you
it.
Go right ahead. What were you calling in about?
Well, there's something on my mind here, I'm thinking about Donald J. Trump. The J stands for jackass, and it never ceases to amaze me. Now, I'm looking at his economic plans and his tax plans and all these things, and, I'm very concerned because one of the things we really don't do a hell of a lot more here is manufacture clothing. And I'm looking at this import-export business, And, the way these taxes are going, things are bad enough. I wear black clothing, and I already pay more black than I do blue.
What?
I do. Black clothing costs more, a lot more. You buy a shirt, like a white shirt.
Ridiculous.
Like a nice dress shirt. Yeah, that dress shirt, maybe, $10, $15.
Uh-huh.
You got to go black. You're talking $20, $25. Now, here's what I'm thinking about.
Is it possible that black shirts are just more popular than white shirts, and so therefore the supply is lowered and demand, it's increased, so prices go up?
I can't believe that. White shirts have got to be more popular than black.
I'd like to recommend RIT clothing dye. You can get it at most grocery stores, and you can take your black that has faded over time. I know you wear it all the time, so you're out in the hot sun in some kind of large leather fedora, black duster, and all this other stuff. These things tend to fade, so just go ahead and lengthen the value of the time that your clothing's good by using this RIT dye. Obviously, you have to, you're going to have to rinse that washer after you do it, but and don't wash it in with clothes after immediate the first few times after you wear it. It needs to stay in with black.
It's going to bleed out.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call, Ricky. The toll-free number here is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733.
If Mark is giving home economic ideas on Free Talk Live, we have descended into the lowest sort of mean that is possible.
So we were discussing earlier tonight when we first started the hour the story about ICE, the Immigrations and Customs Enforcement Bureaucracy, that now has access, according to a new contract that has been announced on some government website. They have access to a tremendous database of location information about, possibly you and likely, millions of other drivers. They've got access to a privately obtained database from a company called Vigilant Solutions that just, is cobbling together as much data from these various different roadside license plate.
Being as vigilant as possible.
These roadside license plate scanners into a huge database with more than 2 billion license plate photos, with data that goes back to 5 years. So they would be able to put it in your license plate number and then get a just a list of all the places that you've been seen over the last 5 years.
So they can track a car, but they wouldn't necessarily track a person, if that makes sense. So
that's true.
I think this is mitigable value to ICE in the sense that it's rare that illegal aliens are going to be registering cars. They're illegals,
but they may be known to drive a certain car, in which case it probably has a license plate on the back of it, in which case
that's
going to
require a lot of police work to determine whether or not an illegal alien has been driving a car. So this is a much better database for local police officers than it is for ICE. So if it's being ostensibly put together for ICE, I think that shows that this is just a ruse, right? That this will be more likely used by local cops, because what you want is...
It's going to get to their level at some point,
You've got an unsolved murder or whatever, and you want to know where this person was at given times, then you can sort of track a car. They can already do it with cell phones, but track a car, general vicinity, much more specifically, I would think, with these cameras and that kind of thing. You could also... Just let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, besides the fact that authoritarian cultures tend to stifle creativity and innovation, which is something that I don't think really motivates somebody who's likes this.
Yeah.
Look, law and order is much more important than creativity. The creative people will be creative, don't worry. But the United States made a lot of inventions. Soviet Union didn't make very many at all.
Great point.
Okay? But besides that, do you want the government to be able to track politicians, heads of industry, judges, important...
They won't be tracking those people.
You don't think so?
The judges are not going to be tracked. The government bureaucrats are not going to be tracked.
The NSA will have the ability to look at this stuff, and you can be assured that rogue agents. I mean, like these agencies are known for having agencies within agencies within agencies. Yeah. There's politics that goes on within the CIA and the NSA and these sorts of things.
Sure, even if they're using that information to blackmail those people, which might be what you were getting at there. I mean, that's a possibility, but this is mostly going to be used to go after little people who can't defend themselves, immigrants who can't afford an attorney.
The little bit doesn't is less important from a societal level. From the large amount that what they're doing is if they're catching murderers and illegal aliens and these sorts of things from a societal level, I believe that to be less important than that 1 out of 100 or 1 out of 200 cases where they're trying to sway a judge for their for a ruling in their direction, or get a group of politicians to vote in a certain way on a particular bill that allows, I don't know, clandestine agencies to have more control over the American government than it already does. I mean, let's take a look at every movie for the last 50 years and tell me how many of them the CIA is the hero in.
They don't have to blackmail the politicians to get their support. Politicians are going to support police agencies across the board with very few exceptions. The only person you can really point to would be like a Ron Paul, who might actually, stand firm against this kind of thing. But
I'm talking about intelligence agencies less than law enforcement agencies.
Yeah, I'm just saying that they don't have to bribe or threaten most of these agents.
I think they do, and that there are definitely politicians out there that are like, CIA intelligence. That's not as
really.
Yeah, I think that
because I think most of those politicians wouldn't want to be seen publicly criticizing.
There's not
government.
Much public. When was the last time you heard about the most recent intelligence agency funding bill? I haven't. You don't hear about it very often. These are the kind of things that just don't come up on the radar as far as
because nobody
goes.
stands against it. And I'm just saying it's not because they are against secretly the CIA but are being blackmailed by them. It's just most likely that they want to be seen as though they're for the CIA and the FBI, because anything else is going to be a tough time to get reelected, right? They perceive the American people as being pro-law enforcement, and so they want to be pro-law enforcement.
Most rules and goals of law enforcement agencies have more of this tyrannical, authoritarian overtone. The more power that these agencies get, the more that they will get through what they want to get through.
Absolutely.
The more that you will see. Now, look, from a historical standpoint, the empire that is the United States, or the experiment, I'll use a better terminology, the experiment that is the United States of America will have a beginning, a rise, a peak, a fall, and an ending.
Where are we on that now?
Who would know? I'm asking the listener
know in hindsight,
to determine where we are and what would be the harbingers of the deterioration. I think, for me, I see them all. Right? Like the government's insolvent, the family's being destroyed systematically, law enforcement and coercive agencies are getting more and more power as time goes by. Yeah, I believe we're on the downward slope of the first republic, and that means that these sorts of governmental systems are on their way out.
All right, more coming up here. If you want to join us, our toll-free number 855-450-FREE. You can weigh in on Free Talk Live.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. What you have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple App Store. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, January 28th, 2018. Silver is trading at $17.39 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,350 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $47, and the average price of Bitcoin is $11,664. Antiwar.com reports a written statement to the Senate Intelligence Committee from Google, Twitter, and Facebook revealed that they found absolutely no evidence of any attempt by Russia to influence any U.S. votes within the past year, 2017, and were unaware of any state-sponsored attempts to interfere at all. With Congress increasingly desperate to turn up something they can pin on Russia interference-wise, there is growing pressure on major technology companies to dig through their logs to try to find something conceivably Russia-related. Facebook has appeared to be the most eager to come up with something, having claimed that 129 events were created by people they suspect being in league with the Russians, though later conceded they had no information if any of these events ever actually took place. Facebook did, however, claim an insignificant overlap between the putative Russians and the Trump campaign. That's somewhat surprising, as oftentimes attempts to label someone a secret Russian hinge heavily on them being perceived as pro-Trump in such after-the-fact investigations.
Bitcoin Not Bombs is a launching pad for nonprofits and social entrepreneurs into the financial freedom of the Bitcoin economy. Bitcoin Not Bombs is fully committed to being the hub of the nonprofit sector of the Bitcoin economy, maximizing the potential cross-promotion of all our clients and commercial partners. To learn more, visit bitcoinnotbombs.com. UPI reports the civil rights anthem We Shall Overcome is now in the public domain as a result of a copyright protection settlement. Song publisher Ludlow Music on Friday agreed that the melody and lyrics of the song are hereafter dedicated to the public domain. That means that no one will have to pay a license fee for the use of the song. In 1960 and 1963, Ludlow Music registered copyrights for the melody. It said the song's authors, including folk singer Pete Seeger, made changes to earlier versions of the song. Last September, Judge Denise L. Cody of U.S. District Court in Manhattan, New York, ruled the key verse in We Shall Overcome was not under copyright for lack of originality. The judge said the copyright registrations were flawed and that the song publisher had not identified the original work on which their derivative was based and did not clearly identify the differences. She said changing will to shall does not make the Seeger version an original work. The publisher of the song was facing fraud claims for charging the producers of Lee Daniels' film The Butler up to $100,000 for a license
license fee to use the song. A trial was set for February 5th, and Ludlow agreed not to sue. But that was not enough for the judge and the legal team at Wolf Haudenstein, which previously was involved in the case that put Happy Birthday to You in the public domain. In a statement, Ludlow said unspecified royalties since the early 1960s had been donated to the nonprofit Highlander Research and Education Center in Tennessee for grants and scholarships in black communities.
For over 40 years, Robertson Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Robertson Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Robertson Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports New York's chief prosecutor will investigate a company that, according to a New York Times article published on Saturday, sold millions of fake followers on social media accounts to celebrities and others wanting to goose their online presence. Eric Schneiderman, the state's attorney general, said the company, Devumi, would be undermining the internet's use as a tool for transparency and democracy if, as the Times reported, it was selling so-called bots using identities stolen from real social media users. Schneiderman posted on Twitter, impersonation and deception are illegal under New York law. The growing prevalence of bots means that real voices are too often drowned out in our public conversations. Those who can pay the most for followers can buy their way to apparent influence. Devumi advertises itself on websites as selling online followers for various social media platforms, including Pinterest and YouTube. It promises Twitter users they can buy up to 500,000 additional followers from the company, which describes itself as committed to the goal of increasing your social media presence and credibility with guaranteed results. The company, which did not respond to questions on Saturday, told the Times it did not sell fake users or steal real people's identities. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
According to a groundbreaking study on anxiety disorders published this week in the New England Journal of Medicine, researchers have discovered that feelings of anxiety can be completely resolved as long as people think about them real hard.
After studying subjects with mild to chronic anxiety disorders, we found that the best way to overcome mental stress is to isolate the root of the anxiety, analyze it from every possible angle, and then think about it nonstop until it completely disappears.
Researchers worked with numerous subjects in the middle of high-stress scenarios and said the key to overcoming anxiety is to start by focusing on a minor problem, list everything that can go wrong in the worst-case scenario, and then repeat that list in your head 200 times. After anywhere between 3 to 6 hours of perpetually torturing yourself over things outside of your control, all feelings of anxiety will completely disappear, and you can finally enjoy the remainder of your day.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. We're launching into the second hour of the program. As always, you can bring up anything you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE. Think you got privacy? Think again. There's a new ICE program that's going to be going into place, the Immigrations and Customs Enforcement. They've teamed up with private industry to get billions of data points about where it is that you are. If you're driving around in your car. They've got the license plate scanning devices at various different points throughout the United States, and they will be able to access the data from those license plate scanning devices in order to find out where a certain license plate is and has been over the last 5 years, as well as we haven't even gotten through the story here yet from TheVerge.com, also do a hot search to type in license plate and find out where it was last seen as well. So, or get notices about that license plate whenever it pops up onto the the Panopticon system. Johnny Ray, as you had described it earlier. In the studio tonight here on the Live Sunday edition, it is Ian, Johnny Ray, and Mark. We're going straight to your calls, though, and thoughts. To Robert, listening, I think, to KWTO in Missouri. Hey, Robert, you're in Springfield.
Hey, a couple of comments on the rise and fall of the United States. I think the peak for the United States was basically the World War II type period.
Yeah.
40s and maybe the 50s, and
I'll give you 50s.
Okay.
That's what I would say, too.
It's kind of declined, and then it picks back up and decline. But I think for the most part, you'll see a pattern like this until it does decline all the way.
What do you think would be the turning point for that to occur? I mean, the United States government has been insolvent just about every year. Perhaps there was 1 year the budget was balanced under the Jackson administration, which means that your kids are still paying for the Mexican-American War, interest on that particular war. But, it's been insolvent the whole time. What exactly is going to cause the federal government, because obviously state and local governments would still exist, what would cause the federal government to finally collapse?
My fantasy.
I guess what would cause it would be just super inflation on everybody's part, kind of like how it was in the Depression, but even worse.
It hasn't managed to collapse the Venezuelan government quite yet. I mean, it's coming, hopefully, but these governments can withstand quite a bit of inflation, it seems.
Yeah, but there's going to be a point where you can't. When the average Joe can't feed their family, and there's the government's not helping like they did in the Depression, I think you're going to see people rise up. I mean, you see California right now trying to split up into 2 or 3 different parts because of the way the government's running the state and their debt. So I don't think that this time around, especially with the internet and communications being instant, that it's going to last as long. Whereas you look at history in the Depression, communication was better than it was in the 1800s, but it was still slow, and there wasn't as many people, talking to other people in different parts of the country like there is today.
Sure. Yeah, it's going to be a little harder to pull the wool over somebody's eyes because you can get information from so many different channels. Robert, thanks for calling in with your...
he had another idea.
There's another thing on the cops and stuff that you were talking about, and the intelligence agencies and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
I think if you look, I don't care whether you're left or right on the Trump deal. You look at some of the things, and especially what they've been going after him since November of 2016 on the Russian deal. They still haven't produced anything. And by all accounts, there's the warrant that they got, the FISA warrant, was kind of sketchy. And if they can do that to Trump, they could do that to me. Because, Trump's got lawyers, he's got people, he's got money, he's got the ability to fight these guys, and at least if he did something wrong, keep himself out of jail for a period of time if he did something wrong. But you look at somebody like me that's just a working stiff, they can come in, throw me in jail, and the next thing you know, 5-6 years down the road, then I get a trial because the government has been nice enough to say, okay, now we're going to charge you and we're going to do this. I think there's the fine line between law and order and stepping on the liberties and the constitutional rights of American citizens. And it's walked every day, but I think right now we're on the opposite side of the line of erring in the of what it used to be, let 10 guilty men go to not see one
innocent person convicted.
That's the way it's supposed to be. Yeah.
Now we live in a society where about 15% of people put in prison are innocent, and everybody lives with that every day, and it doesn't seem to bother them too much.
It does bother them once it's their son or their daughter or husband or
that
whoever
may very
that
well
goes.
be the case, but the media has scared the heck out of people so thoroughly. Now remember, crime's down. Crime's been down year upon year for a very long time. There might be some upticks here and there, but generally from the 80s and 90s, it is down, and it has been going down over time. So the idea that we're still scared of this scary, bad criminal person sounds ridiculous to me, and that we're incarcerating more people than ever, well, that's just a symptom.
Well, there are a few places. There are a few places.
The United States crime is down, but you look in the areas like where I'm from, there's a lot of meth and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of petty crime.
Meth isn't crime. It's just drug use. That's not an actual crime because there's no victim.
Petty crime.
But if somebody steals
I'm talking
something,
about the manufacturing of it.
also
and
not a
then
crime. Again, you're talking about making meth or making any kind of drug is just somebody providing a product to the marketplace. That's not a criminal. It should not be a criminal act.
It's a bad product.
It should be a free market act. Well, I mean, some people use speed for certain reasons, Mark, that doesn't have to do with recreational purposes.
If your speed was made with Sudafed pills in a bathtub,
no doubt,
you're not using it for a good reason.
But there is there is a manufactured version of meth. It's called Desoxin. You can, if you get a prescription for it, you can buy it at the pharmacy. So they do have a professionally manufactured methamphetamine out there, and it is legal to purchase that with the right prescription. So there are real purposes for those drugs. The manufacture of those drugs should not be a crime. If there's a crime associated with drugs, the crime associated with drugs is the people who are trying to acquire the drugs, who are willing to, let's say, hold up a convenience store, hold somebody at knife point, break into a vehicle, break into a home. Those are real crimes that have to do with the fact that drugs are prohibited, because if drugs weren't prohibited, their price would be much, much lower in the marketplace, and anyone who wanted them could easily acquire them and wouldn't have to actually harm their neighbors in order to get them. Your thoughts, Robert?
So do you think that the pharmaceutical companies should not be held responsible for the painkiller epidemic that's going on that's caused a lot of people to die, knowing that that's the side effects of their product? And it would be much like Ford sending out a car that the wheels fall off after 30,000 miles and they knew it.
I think it works.
There's got to be some kind of criminality or at least liability that these companies have.
I think it's like the big bank. It's like the big bank issue, okay? Yes, the banks were responsible in many ways for the Great Recession that occurred, but they didn't do it alone in a vacuum. The government and the politicians worked hand in hand to make this a reality. The marijuana is illegal in many if not most of the places that you currently have a problem with heroin.
Yes.
And that's because now they can't treat pain with a plant that they dry out in their garage that they grew in their backyard. They have to spend inordinate amounts of money for opiates. Now, in some cases, opiates are a good idea. In some cases, opiates are a terrible idea. But the manufacturers of opiates obviously are going to want people to use opiates. Mm-hmm. That makes perfectly good sense. But people don't have options on the other side, and the government prevented those options.
Yeah.
Also, it's all working together, and none of it is something I have power over.
Also, as indignant as people are about the drug manufacturers pushing opiates out to the population, and I understand, I've known people who've been addicted, people close to me have been addicted to opiates, so I get it. But it's, despite all the indignancy out there, I don't blame a company for putting out a product that people want to use. It's the user who should get the blame. They're the ones who've accepted addiction. They're the ones who haven't beaten the addiction. There's all kinds of dangerous addictive products out there, and I don't think all of those companies should be put out of business. Let the market decide. More coming up here. Thanks, Robert.
Thinking about getting into cryptocurrency? It's time you looked into Dash. Dash is digital money that you can use to send instant and private payments anywhere for pennies. Dash offers a decentralized network where miners are rewarded for keeping it strong and safe. Dash has made a huge impact in the crypto world. Start your journey. Check out Dash.org for more information and get in now on the future of cryptocurrency. Dash.org.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. The Bitcoin.com wallet supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Core and your Bitcoin Cash. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
From the first letter of Captain Mark. History is full of flowery documents claiming to limit the power of the crown, but these poetic social contracts have been impotent to prevent the predation. Limited government is a lie they use to keep us submissive. The crown cannot be trusted to abide by its founding charters, nor its treaties, nor even its own rules. The essence of the crown is centralized violence, and I've had enough. That's why I raised my black banner. I am no revolutionary. My aim is not to reset the cycle of violence, but to break it. My aim is an evolved society, invisible to the crown, not a new hierarchy, but decentralized networks with no central figure for the crown to target. If you want your servile life, keep it, but we will not submit to the Crown's agenda. And when you are ready to stop being its beast of burden, ready for adventure and opportunity, join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It is Free Talk Live. You can join us on the radio waves and bring up whatever's on your mind. Our number here is 855-450-FREE. Like freedom, that's 855-450-3733. We have Skype as well, so feel free to Skype in to join us there. Skype username is LRN.FM. And in addition, you can call us on Discord. The Discord on-air call-in line is available to you. All you have to do is connect to discord.lrn.fm. And in the studio tonight, it's Ian. Oops, sorry about that, Johnny Ray. Try that again.
Johnny Ray.
And Mark.
Much better. As we continue, we'll take your calls and thoughts here. We've got Rob on the line in Georgia. He's on via Skype. Go ahead, Rob.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, what's on your mind tonight?
Well, I would like to talk about the caller called about earlier about the state going away and kind of that as an idea.
I like that idea.
I think
it's red meat for you.
That I suspect that the state goes away, quite frankly, in the West before it goes away in other places. And I think the reason why is tied to why the state is such a good, well, when I say good, I mean an effective mechanism for people to live.
When you say the state goes away in the West, you mean the Western world or Western United States?
The Western world.
Okay.
The Western world.
Oh, I thought you meant the
Western. I don't know where it would occur in the Western world, but well, when I'm thinking about the state and kind of why people have always supported the state and this sort of stuff, at one point, genocide traveled at the speed of a horse, which was the same speed that information traveled. That's that requires a lot of insurance, you might say. And the state is a sort of insurance. It's the most effective way of organizing people that people have found. And if you're trying to organize yourself against genocide, that's a real big downside. So it's worth quite a bit of investment of time and effort in order to prevent it. And the state was kind of the most effective mechanism for doing that. In more recent decades, for the first time in human history, we now live in a world where genocide travels slower than the information, which would indicate that genocide is coming, travels. That's never been true in human history. Human civilization didn't develop under those circumstances.
Right.
So now we're entering into this kind of new era, And I think that once you get to the point where private enterprises are able to effectively organize people more effectively organize people than the state and produce for them consistently more satisfactory results, then people will just abandon the state. And it's because that requires a lot of technology. It requires stuff like cryptocurrency or whatever is to come.
That's kind of the first step in that, right? Where, even though it's not necessarily a private enterprise in that no one knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is, it's a private person or persons,
it's a private person.
Wasn't a corporation.
And the private enterprise doesn't necessarily mean business. All I'm saying is that it's something that's done by free of government coercion and something that people are voluntarily entering into. And once you have it where voluntary structures are able to more effectively organize people and more effectively provide for kind of their basic needs, then the state will go away. Because the reality is that the only real genocidal threat that we have are non-state actors, nuclear weapons, basically. I mean, apart from something weird, disease or something. But for the most part, the main genocidal thing that people have to think of would be nuclear weapons. And unlike previous genocidal efforts, which would require a lot of kind of hand-on-hand, knee-deep in blood, you can't direct the current genocidal mechanisms at a specific population only. If genocide gets unleashed on Earth, it's going to get unleashed on friend and foe.
Right. So what would happen with, just to back up Robert's point here is, for instance, the Mongols. We talked about Genghis Khan earlier today, I think, on this show, and what he would, this guy, 60 million people dead, and this is the largest, he's basically the largest killer in Earth's history. And what he would do is simply send a letter to the people of a given city and say, hey, you got a new leader now, and you got to send a certain amount of tribute, and if you don't send that certain amount of tribute, we're going to kill you dead. And some of the rulers of those cities would say, oh, yeah, absolutely, we're down with that. Or they'll say, nope, sorry, you're going to have to show us. And then they would. And to the point that basically they just have they tell their soldiers, early on Mongols, then later on, sort of mishmash of everything that they had. They'd say, look, once we take down this wall, it's your responsibility to kill 10 civilians. You bring their ears, and then don't forget the spoils of war. You get all that, and the soldier that didn't do their job in killing the 10 people, and presumably there's people hiding places, then those soldiers would be put to the sword themselves. Obviously, there'd be instances where there's just no more people to kill, but nonetheless, that's how they handled it, and it was a pretty good system if killing people is a good system, to the point that one of the descriptions, and I can't remember what the city is, but the road, people couldn't travel to that city later to see the devastation because the road was slick with human fat.
Whoa.
Yeah, when Genghis Khan attacked the Islamic world, the nickname that they made for him was the punishment from God.
Yeah, Scourge of God. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, he did quite a bit. I have described Genghis Khan as history's most fully actualized rapist as well.
Oh, right. I mean, how many? Basically, the large portion of white people listening to me, if they've got any Eastern European ancestry, like I do, and likely you, Ian, and you, Johnny Ray. I'm just looking here, and I suspect there's a Mongol back there, and that Mongol, it wasn't all consensual. I will say it beats the heck out of death, which is what that lady's husband likely dealt with. So
yes. Yeah, so that's how I think the state ends. I think that it ends when private enterprises can organize people better than the state can. And I think that in the West it will happen extremely suddenly. It won't be one of those things to where people kind of see it coming, that sick man of Europe type thing. I don't think it's going to happen like that. I think it'll happen within the span of well under, like in the span of a generation. It'll be very sudden, going from one crisis to where, okay, there's just nothing here, and these private enterprises are actually organizing things. So I think it'll be something fairly sudden.
MySpace went from the biggest social media platform to crapola inside of 2 years.
Yeah, and it could very well be that it's one of those things that happens in a couple of weeks even. I mean, it's hard to tell when you start dealing with stuff like technology, and I think it's so closely tied to that it will be, or it may even be a thing where it goes away and people don't even notice it because it was not really noticed. It was not really noticed when they stopped using it, so they don't really notice when it's no longer active. It could be that too.
Yeah, I think some of these things you can see coming, like cryptocurrency. We can see how cryptocurrency can absolutely just undermine and replace, hopefully at some point, the centralized banking bureaucracy and all these banking corporations. But also, take Detroit. There's one of the top stories on freetalklive.com right now, submitted by one of our listeners, is the Detroit police apparently are, so unavailable that they're demanding that businesses pay more for, quicker service. We also had reported on a story out of Detroit where some of their police departments had closed down operations during nighttime hours. You could not just walk in and get service. It just wasn't available in some areas. And as a result of that, you see organizations in the marketplace cropping up. But in that case, it's the market responding to a lack of government. It's not the market just sort of on its own competing with government or out-competing government. Rob, if you had more and you want to stand by, you're welcome to. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, Free Talk Live.
Hawaii was a wake-up call. Don't be caught without a disaster shelter. Atlas makes an all-disaster shelter that will protect your family from fallout, tornadoes, and hurricanes for only $99.99. That also includes the NBC air filtration system, solid steel construction with an airtight, bulletproof door. That's right, for $99.99 and up. Call 1-855-4BUNKER or go to iwantthatshelter.com. Atlas Survival Shelters, the world leader in fallout shelters.
You've been hearing Dr. Wallach talking about 90 essential nutrients, keeping the body healthy. GCNteam.com now has Beyond Tangy Tangerine tablets, 60 plant-derived minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, packed in a powerful tablet. But that's not it. 160,000 auric points, a knockout punch to free radicals. Call 877-878-4203 or go to GCNteam.com. That's 877-878-4203.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Are you sick of government lackeys who say you didn't build that? Are you tired of elitists who think you need a government permission slip for everything? Everything you do is an A to B conversation, and the government should see their way out of it. Create true free markets by adopting the BIPCOT No Government License. The BIPCOT No Gov license allows use or modification of any product, service, or software except by governments or government agents. Go to BIPCOT.org. That's Bravo, India, Papa, Charlie, Oscar, Tango.org.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar. and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agorist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agoristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agorist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agoristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agoristhosting.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live and the live Sunday edition of the program. Of course, you can join us if you want to take control of the airwaves here. Our number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Ian,
Johnny Ray,
and Mark.
Bitcoin.com is where you can go to learn about the basics on Bitcoin. There's still a lot of people out there that, they might have heard the word. They might have seen the headline saying that it, price has gone up, price has gone down, it's back up. There's all kinds of headlines about Bitcoin, but do you really know what you're talking about? You want to learn the basics about Bitcoin? Go to Bitcoin.com and learn about the one that started it all, the one that started the cryptocurrency craze or avalanche. Over 1,400 cryptocurrencies are now in the marketplace. And as we were discussing with Rob in Georgia, who did drop off the line, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate the discussion.
Nice to hear from Rob again.
With the idea of that the state will end once it is supplanted and replaced by private organizations, private people, services that are doing a better job of what the state already does. Now, Johnny Ray, I bet that that rings a bell with you because you're somebody who is completely outside of the system. You don't believe in politics. You don't believe in voting, working inside the system. You're against all of that. Do you agree with what Rob was saying, that the state just needs to be outcompeted and then it'll disappear?
Absolutely. I think the decline of the state is inevitable. And it's because human civilization advances relentlessly, and the state is just not up to the job.
It's slow. It's a state.
I agree with that, and I found myself somewhat mesmerized by Robert. I just like his cadence and his delivery and those sorts of things, but I disagree with his verbiage after I've had a chance to think about it.
Oh?
Obviously, you only get one call on Free Talk Live in a given evening, and Rob will have to call back and educate me on this particular topic. But I think there's a difference in the area of where the government funds a project versus a government that when the government provides a service, right? So let's say, in the case of currency, the government is quote unquote providing you a service. They're making currency that is fair and just and has equal weight and measure and all that other stuff that the Constitution provides for. But in the process, they've perverted it and turned it into this thing that has no backing and is of no intrinsic value. So yeah, that's fine. People are, switching over to Bitcoin, as he mentioned, cryptocurrencies, these kinds of things. And they may or may not go all the way. Who knows if that's the end of the evolution of currency. But we also have 100 years of, at the least, 100 years of public school to look at. And I would venture to say that the government hasn't lost a significant amount as a percentage of the population that goes to government school.
That's a good point because there are better options out there.
There are lots better options.
Has provided them and more affordable options when you put it all, evenly on the same playing field. But it's not the same playing field ultimately, and that's why probably most people haven't switched to private schools because then they have to pay twice. Which is why what I was saying earlier, I think, is applicable here in that you can give examples of how the government is going to be outcompeted where it drops the ball, like in Detroit, where they're just not providing police services to some people. Well, yeah, the marketplace is stepping in, and they're doing a great job, like with Threat Defense Center, I think is what it's called, that is providing private protection services for people who want that in the Detroit area.
But it's rare that you find somebody hiring a private detective to solve a crime, because they're more likely to spend the time hassling the state-funded detective.
Because they want to get their money's worth. They've already paid into that system.
Right. They've sunk year after year after year after year. They've sunk money into this state-funded or locally funded government detective agency, and they just want these people to do their job that they imagine that they do on NCIS or whatever. Turn on that big computer with the cute girl that runs it and find out who did this, right?
All right, hang on. We can continue this discussion here, but let's go to Robert. He's in Alabama, and Robert, you're on the radio, or listening on the radio, and thank you. So go ahead with your call and thoughts tonight.
Yes, I'm just wondering what's going to be going on. I've been reading in the paper about Attorney General Jeff Sessions wanting to overturn the states that have legalized marijuana, recreational and medicinal use. He wants to bring it back to the way it was back in the 80s and there. And if it does happen, I mean, after we've come this long, why would you want to go back to something that was failed? That's what my concern is.
I would presume that he is either
reality.
Yeah, I would presume that he is either motivated philosophically or financially in some manner or another. Now, I don't know precisely who might motivate him financially. So if we take it from a philosophical standpoint, most people, especially the older folks, have been taught that Jesus doesn't want you to smoke the wacky weed, right? And he just wants a God-fearing Christian country to act like it. And if he's got to apply the lash in order to, to see that this child is not spoiled, he's willing to do that. The fortunate thing is that Jeff Sessions is a laughable buffoon, and what you will find is that the American people aren't going to put up with this at this point. It's over for marijuana criminalization. That corner has been turned, and this is.
I hope you're right. I think you're right.
This is the native dance of the conservative, right? They love to get out there and do their interpretive dance of how we're going to save society by hearkening back to some time that was slightly, in decades previous. Like, if we could just do this thing or that thing, then the family would be restored and all these other things. And sorry, Jeff, I don't need to see the dance of your people. I know how it turns out. We can see that. We can see mass incarceration. The war on drugs was a war on marijuana, and you didn't save the American people. All you did was give them criminal records.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Is people have been put in jail that were minor offenses, then they come out worse than they were. Absolutely. Because they're around people with severe offenses, and you're in that situation. It was to me, it was just a whole foos.
Yep.
I mean, if the people speak their right and they vote and they legalize it in different states, then it should be the states' rights to have that.
It absolutely should. And I think that ultimately that's what we're going to see happen, is that the more states legalize it, and more are coming. Vermont just passed their legalization last week, the first legislatively passed marijuana legalization efforts, and you're going to see other state governments following that because they can't ignore the money. For a long time, they sided with the police. For a long time, when the police came into all these hearings and, trotted out all their anti-drug propaganda, the politicians bought into it. But I think we finally wheeled enough wheelchair-bound cripples in front of the politicians to where maybe they felt a pang of compassion in their hearts, and some of them allowed for the medical marijuana programs, and I think almost half the states now. And now we finally seen even more compassion coming through ballot initiatives, which again forced the politicians' hands at this point. Only Vermont was the first state to do this legislatively on a recreational basis, but to allow people to use it for whatever reasons they want to.
That brings me to what I would consider like a minute tweak to our conversation here, is that states, I don't believe, have rights. I like the idea of smaller government agencies rather than larger ones, smaller geographic areas rather than larger ones. But the state doesn't have, your state, whatever that state might be, doesn't have any more right to impinge its will upon you in the area of marijuana than any other state or, frankly, any other armed gang. If the Crips or the Bloods or the Hells Angels decide to come to your house and tell you what combusted plant material you're going to be able to smoke or not be able to smoke, they're simply able to do it with the force of weapons. And you would be justified to fight back with weapons against that organization. So I say when any organization, and I don't care if it's the Metropolitan Police Department, the State Police Department, the FBI, the DEA, or some UN agency with blue helmets comes to your house and says you can't smoke combusted plant material, you have the right to stop them in whatever manner you have the right to do it in. Now,
Robert, great
whether
call.
or not it's a good idea is left to your estimation.
Thanks for calling with that tonight. I appreciate hearing from you, Robert, and we're going to continue. Your calls and thoughts are welcome. Our toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom, here on Free Talk Live.
Live from the Verticoin studio, this is the call to freedom. It's the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium 47 here on LRN.FM. When you hear the faucet, be caller 5 to get some free coins. This is the call to freedom.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I'm here to tell you about GCNtelecare.com, a team of board-certified doctors assisting you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Within 15 minutes of registration, care your family can afford. Revolutionizing the healthcare industry, virtual consulting providing diagnosis of non-emergency medical issues by phone or secure video on computer or smart mobile devices. GCNtelecare.com, virtual care anywhere.
Fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. I'm talking thick, meaty, center-cut presidential bacon. Savory and delicious. I buy some, I use some, I store some. Awesome. No refrigeration needed with a 10-year shelf life. NASA pack technology. Bacon. Fully cooked, fully hydrated, ready to eat right from the packed bacon or warm and served. Life-saving, ready-to-eat bacon. 10-year shelf life bacon. Ships free at fullycookedbacon.com. Fullycookedbacon.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com. Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, Mark at freetalklive.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. 855-450-3733. BlinkProtect.com/FTL. That's where you go to get your Blink home security system delivered to your door. You want to talk about easy to install? I can't imagine it could be easier than the Blink home security system.
Doesn't seem like it.
You unbox, you plug the batteries in, which are included, into the wireless cameras. You place those cameras where you want them around your household. Take the hub, that is the one wire in the system, the power cable for the hub, you plug that in, and then you get it all set up via your Wi-Fi-enabled device, like a smartphone or a tablet or whatever, and you're done in moments. You're ready to roll, and then you've got the camera system will send clips to you to your smart device. Wherever it is you happen to be in the world, you'll be able to keep an eye on what's going on at home or maybe in your small office as well. BlinkProtect.com/FTL, like Free Talk Live. And we'll continue here with your calls and thoughts. Ian, Johnny, Ray, and Mark in the studio, live on a Sunday night here. John in Bullhead City, you're on Free Talk Live. Hello, John.
Yes, good evening to you and to everyone.
Thanks.
Good evening.
Thank you. I wanted to comment on the topic of the marijuana.
Sure.
And my belief that this is nothing other than another prohibition, such as we went through as a country back in the 20s and 30s. If the oil in that plant is medicinally helpful for the people, then that should be allowed if they can remove the THC and the high that people get. That's my
Well, why
opinion
shouldn't that be
there,
allowed too?
Well, it should be if they want it.
Right.
But that's up to the people. I don't believe in murder. I don't believe in war. I think there's a lot simpler ways to solve our nationwide and global-wide problems other than throwing our young men and women into it to die.
Totally agreed.
That's a money deal for the top people. But there must be multiples of other ways to sustain our economy other than by going into a war.
Well, war doesn't sustain the economy; it weakens it, right?
Yeah, I mean, only for the government, only this agency that has been historically the most wasteful and destructive, for the last 9,000 years. Would people imagine for a second that that agency can take things that it owns, destroy them? Missiles and tanks and things like this. Let's forget about the other agency that it's fighting, but just its own stuff. Missiles are not useful after they go boom.
How about the lives of the people?
Well, yeah, I understand
destroying them too.
Right, the productivity of its tax base.
They could be doing things like fixing cars, picking up whatever products or services.
Sure, all those things are true, but the idea that you can destroy what you own and therefore be wealthier
and prosper
makes about as much sense as going out to your car, destroying the windshield, and expecting to be wealthier the next day.
Yeah, all they're doing is they're benefiting certain industries at the cost of productivity in the rest of the world, in the rest of the country, because we would be so much more productive if the billions of dollars that are being spent on the military wouldn't been siphoned off in the first place and stayed in our pockets, so we could then decide how to invest, how to save, how to give away the money that we earned.
Yes, very good point. Also, I was told, I have no proof of it, but if marijuana had been legalized decades ago, if we had done our research and our homework as a country, as a government, we would have no national deficit.
No, they still the politicians will always spend beyond their means. I mean, it's certainly a good thing when they end prohibition and they then get revenue rather than throwing people in a prison cell. That's definitely helpful. It's one situation is clearly better than the other, but politicians are terrible stewards of any kind of money. So if you just give them more money, they'll just blow it.
It's not just politicians. It's anybody who didn't earn money and doesn't directly benefit by the spending. So, I mean, if you
spend other people's money, it's always a lot easier to make those decisions, right?
Right. If you give me $300 and tell me, hey, Mark, buy a gift for my aunt, somebody I've never met and don't particularly know, I'm going to go out and get something pretty generic and probably overpriced because I'm going to spend all $300 that I've got, and I probably won't get that great of a return on my money. Whereas if I've got to spend my $300 to get a gift for my wife, I'm going to get something that's much more appropriate and useful than I would in that other circumstance.
And you might only spend a fraction of the amount rather than the whole amount.
She's going to keep a close eye on what I spend.
Buy a bunch of colorful beads and make a necklace, and she'd like that. More than anything else.
That's a joke for the cam viewers, by the way. Mark's got a beaded necklace on, and you can see it over at cam.freetalklive.com. I think you can, at least. The camera appears to be pointing at him. Hey, John, thanks for the call tonight, man. I definitely appreciate hearing from you.
Very well.
One thing's for sure, if we didn't have the war on drugs, if we didn't have the war on cannabis, which is the majority of the war on drugs, by the way, then we'd have
certainly was at one point.
We'd have a whole lot more people who are productive in the world. We would not have so many destroyed lives by people who've been arrested and thrown into a cage. And then,
well, don't forget that. Just it makes it more difficult to get a driver's license.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine you had never been thrown in a cage. You just had your weed taken from you, and you were given, some kind of citation, misdemeanor citation kind of situation, and you're no longer eligible for federal funds, scholarships and that kind of thing. So you say to yourself, well, I guess I can't go to college. I'll continue working at Burger Max or wherever it is that one wishes to work.
Right.
And you got to take your bicycle, so you're not looking for the better job, and whatever the consequences of all that stuff that go into play. Just forget jail. Put that into your pipe and smoke it.
Somebody had called earlier about this Jeff Sessions character, the attorney general under the Trump administration. And Trump's blown a lot of the people out the door. The question is, I think that's most important, is how long is Sessions going to last before he gets blown out the door? It seems to be kind of the thing with the Trump administration.
The Trump administration likes them subservient and groveling. And
Sessions is that, you're saying?
I don't know. I mean, what do I know about Sessions? I mean, maybe he's placates Trump folks enough to make them happy. Happy.
Could very well be. But it does, for all the news stories that we see about Sessions supposedly going to ramp up the war on marijuana, has it actually happened? I mean, I haven't really seen much more than, and again, I'm not, completely in touch with all the news headlines in this area. So if you've seen something, please let us know at 855-450 free like freedom. But it always seems to be like an attention-generating headline. Sessions says something bad about marijuana. Yeah. They're going to crack down. Look out. But is it happening? Have they been going into the states on an increased basis over the Obama? Because they were still going in during Obama, by the way. They were still, investigating growers in Colorado, and
some of that stuff was going on. Yeah,
trying to see if they were growing more than their legal amounts.
Right. President Choom, that's what they called them. He
was in the Choom gang in college, right?
Obama
smoking weed.
Yeah, in high school, smoking weed. They called it the Choom gang, whatever that means to you. But President Choom, he wasn't exactly soft on weed. Nope. He talked better about it, but
toward the end.
Yeah, toward the end.
Mm-hmm.
But he kept his federal agents active, especially so in those states that had legalized marijuana in some form or fashion.
So I don't know if that has changed significantly one way or the other, besides Jeff Sessions just talking tough. And ultimately, whenever you see any part of the war on drugs rolled back, as we've seen here in New Hampshire with a minor amount of decriminalization of cannabis that happened last year, it took forever to finally get to it, but we got to it. You always see the other side pushing back because that's just what they do. This week, there was a bill in front of the state legislature that would not completely roll back decriminalization, but it would increase the fines. So it would do a lot of rolling back of decriminalization.
I think it's a good thing that they put in these bills just to further cement in their mind, no, Nobody wants your marijuana incarceration services, coppers. Hey,
presuming it gets shot down.
Law enforcement of the world, stop serving us this way. Your job, as you say on the sides of your cars, is to protect and serve. Well, yes, people are protected in jail cells, except for all the sodomy and the attention, and the odd time they get their teeth kicked in their mouths. But hey, this isn't the kind of protection we're looking for, fellas.
Yeah, and I think this is going to probably go down in flames. But all that said, it is interesting to watch how it goes, how it all happens. In that video, by the way, of that hearing, the full video, it's going to be up at the Free Keene YouTube channel tonight at Free Keene or YouTube/Free Keene. And what's interesting is the beginning speech from the police officer who's sort of backing the bill, one of the chiefs of police. Of course, the police chiefs are behind this. So the chief of police that's speaking gets up and he speaks to the panel or the committee, the Criminal Justice Committee, and he says, and I'm paraphrasing, it was something like, we at the police chiefs, we understand the reasons for decriminalization. We support them. Like, he was acting like they were behind and supportive of decriminalization when they fought it tooth and nail every single step of the way. And this bill, if it passes, would undo some of the decriminalization by increasing the fines.
That's why I say over and over again, police chiefs aren't actually, they're not police. They're politicians.
Absolutely true. It's a political position. More coming up here, 8:55, 450, Free Like Freedom. Hour 3's on the way.
It's been said, any society is only 3 missed meals away from chaos. Those times may be near. Think about it. Our country faces multiple terrorist threats and aggressions from Russia and North Korea. Social unrest and violent marches yet again may lead to looting of stores and city shutdowns. And our crumbling infrastructure leaves our power grid vulnerable to long-term outages from a single cyber attack. When the chaos from any one of these threats arises, the government knows it can't provide during a widespread national emergency. That's why you need your own plan for self-reliance. That's where My Patriot Supply comes in. Get a 4-week survival food supply for only $99. That includes breakfast, lunches, and dinners. Order online at preparewithgcn.com. $99 for 4 weeks of survival food that tastes like homemade cooking and lasts up to 25 years from My Patriot Supply. Get your kits today at preparewithgcn.com. Free shipping is included. Preparewithgcn.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Stouffer's, helping bring your family together with wholesome dinner options, even on the busiest of nights. Find dinner table ideas to bring your family together at letsfixdinner.com. To get kids involved in dinnertime conversation, ask specific questions, not broad ones. Instead of what happened today at school, try what was the best thing that happened today. The more specific you are, the more they'll have to say. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, January 28th, 2018. Silver is trading at $17.39 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,350 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $47, and the average price of Bitcoin is $11,664. Antiwar.com reports a written statement to the Senate Intelligence Committee from Google, Twitter, and Facebook revealed that they found absolutely no evidence of any attempt by Russia to influence any U.S. votes within the past year, 2017, and were unaware of any state-sponsored attempts to interfere at all. With Congress increasingly desperate to turn up something they can pin on Russia interference-wise, there is growing pressure on major technology companies to dig through their logs to try to find something conceivably Russia-related. Facebook has appeared to be the most most eager to come up with something, having claimed that 129 events were created by people they suspect being in league with the Russians, though later conceded they had no information if any of these events ever actually took place. Facebook did, however, claim an insignificant overlap between the putative Russians and the Trump campaign. That's somewhat surprising, as oftentimes attempts to label someone a secret Russian hinge heavily on them being perceived as pro-Trump in such after-the-fact investigations.
Bitcoin Not Bombs is a launching pad for nonprofits and social entrepreneurs into the financial freedom of the Bitcoin economy. Bitcoin Not Bombs is fully committed to being the hub of the nonprofit sector of the Bitcoin economy, maximizing the potential cross-promotion of all our clients and commercial partners. To learn more, visit bitcoinnotbombs.com. UPI reports the civil rights anthem We Shall Overcome is now in the public domain as a result of a copyright protection settlement. Song publisher Ludlow Music on Friday agreed that the melody and lyrics of the song are hereafter dedicated to the public domain. That means that no one will have to pay a license fee for the use of the song. In 1960 and 1963, Ludlow Music registered copyrights for the melody. It said the song's authors, including folk singer Pete Seeger, made changes to earlier versions of the song. Last September, Judge Denise L. Cody of U.S. District Court in Manhattan, New York, ruled the key verse in We Shall Overcome was not under copyright for lack of originality. The judge said the copyright registrations were flawed and that the song publisher had not identified the original work on which their derivative was based and did not clearly identify the differences. She said changing will to shall does not make the Seeger version an original work. The publisher of the song was facing fraud claims for charging the producers of Lee Daniels' film The Butler up to $100,000 for a license fee to use the song. A trial was set for February 5th, and Ludlow agreed not to sue. But that was not enough for the judge and the legal team at Wolf Haudenstein, which previously was involved in the case that put Happy Birthday to You in the public domain. In a statement, Ludlow said unspecified royalties since the early 1960s had been donated to the nonprofit Highlander Research and Education Center in Tennessee for grants and scholarships in black communities.
For over 40 years, Robertson Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Robertson Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Robertson Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports New York's chief prosecutor will investigate a company that, according to a New York Times article published on Saturday, sold millions of fake followers on social media accounts to celebrities and others wanting to goose their online presence. Eric Schneiderman, the state's attorney general, said the company, Devumi, would be undermining the internet's use as a tool for transparency and democracy if, as the Times reported, it was selling so-called bots using identities stolen from real social media users. Schneiderman posted on Twitter, impersonation and deception are illegal under New York law. The growing prevalence of bots means that real voices are too often drowned out in our public conversations. Those who can pay the most for followers can buy their way to apparent influence. Devumi advertises itself on websites as selling online followers for various social media platforms, including Pinterest and YouTube. It promises Twitter users they can buy up to 500,000 additional followers from the company, which describes itself as committed to the goal of increasing your social media presence and credibility with guaranteed results. The company, which did not respond to questions on Saturday, told the Times it did not sell fake users or steal real people's identities. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Months after identifying the elusive Higgs boson particle, scientists at CERN in Geneva, Switzerland have announced that they've completely run out of things to do with their Large Hadron Collider.
We've tried some time travel stuff, but it doesn't really work. Black holes, but we already know like a ton about those. Last week, we threw a bird in there. Honestly, we thought it would take way longer to find the Higgs boson.
Director General of CERN, Rolf Dieter Hauer, told reporters that while they, quote, might be able to figure out some more about quarks or something, for the most part, his team has spent much of the past year throwing pennies into the machine and turning it on to see if the pennies come out smushed.
We might just start building a larger hadron collider. Yeah, maybe a bigger collider for smaller hadrons or something. I don't know.
CERN has announced on their website that if anyone out there has any fun ideas for experiments, you can email them to ideas@largehadroncollider.com.
is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. We're launching into the third hour of the program. Of course, you can take control of the airwaves and bring up anything that's on your mind. We've still got more on the Panopticon story, where the government is going to be tracking your every move via a privately accessed database that the ICE bureaucracy, the Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, has entered into a contract with some supplier for, that they'll be able to punch in your driver's license, your tag number, and then be able to find out where you were last seen and get constant updates on your location, as well as trace you back, something like 5 years as far as where you...
5 years for now. I mean, why would they just stop at 5 years?
Right. Where you've gone, where you've been, that sort of thing. So with you in the studio tonight, by the way, it's Ian,
Johnny Ray,
and Mark.
We're going to continue. We'll take your calls and thoughts about what's on your mind. We go to David. He's in New Mexico. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, David.
Hey, yeah, people mock me, but I've been paying closer attention than most people for the last 10 years, 24/7. I mean, you guys have too, because it's your business, and I have because my government...
I still go to sleep sometimes. Apparently you don't.
David's up keeping an eye on things in New Mexico.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, say that again, Mark.
I said David's up keeping an eye on things in New Mexico.
I am. Actually, people might benefit from it if I clarify it. I haven't slept. I'm just now finally starting. For 10 years, I didn't sleep anywhere near normally. I woke up about every hour and a half. Woke up every hour and a half through the night, and I wasn't getting 8 hours of sleep. It wasn't 8 hours of hour and a half. It was about 4 or 5 hours of hour and a half. And after every hour and a half, I woke up to a nightmare, and every nightmare had lawyers and children and stuff.
That sounds awful.
God,
lawyers.
Sorry to hear that, buddy.
That is a nightmare.
That's why I say for 24/7. And you're the first people. Congratulations, you're the first people that have ever caught that. I've been waiting. That was actually a bait. I was waiting for somebody to question that, and you're the first people to ever do that.
Oh no! Give all the credit to Ian, because he's the literal mamma jammer
here. Credit to Ian. Very, very well.
How did you start sleeping recently, as opposed to the last 10 years or whatever?
Big old bag of weed.
No. It's psychology. It's a combination of actually starting to not care about my children, combined with convincing myself that I don't care about my children, that they're gone. And that magically has enabled me to return, instead of being hypervigilant, to being on guard 24/7 for the enemy attacking, just completely letting go, divorcing myself from my children. And like I said, that's not really true. I'm lying to myself.
Right.
In order to do that.
It's so uncomfortable hearing you say it, but I mean, I think that it's probably what you absolutely have to do, because the government decided that you're not going to be able to see your kids at all.
Yeah, well, that is still alive. They haven't defeated me. This is still, I appreciate what you're saying, but just so that we're on the record with, this is still a live case. I started this as a person without a lawyer, and would have still been without a lawyer, except that I was good enough being without a lawyer that I forced them to give me one. But I've kept this alive for 10 years when an average person without a lawyer would have been dead in the first year, and so I've succeeded to this point. I'm not giving up.
How old are your kids now?
They that's funny. That's another psychological trick that I play on myself. I don't allow myself to actually know their ages. I distance myself from that. They were born in 2004 and 2006. Okay. And I didn't call to take you down this road. That was my state of mind. It was to lay the framework as to where I'm coming from, and so let me go into that. What I was actually calling to share with you is, within that context, I've been forced to think about the things that you're talking about, and I've come up with a couple different concepts that I find obvious, and other people may as well. And that is that if there is anything that can be exploited in any way, like a children's court system, for instance, or traffic cameras, or making drug laws, if there's anything that can be exploited, which basically is everything.
Sure.
Because if you think, if you start to think with an evil mind, which I've been forced to do in order to try to anticipate what these people's motives are and what their next moves are and what's going on, if there is nothing that can't be exploited. And let me add. So that's one concept. And if there are, ask yourself this: if there's the slightest possibility that something could be exploited to somebody's benefit, do you think that there is a human being or a group of human beings or several human beings out there that if it's at all realistic that they might actually give it a try to exploit that thing? The obvious answer is yes.
Of course
they will. They will.
They think they can get away with it, and most politicians can.
Yeah, not only might they, but they are incentivized. If the power is built into a system, it is an incentive to abuse that power. And this isn't just some libertarian talk radio show host saying that. That's science. When people are given power, people abuse power. And further, more science is that people who are more likely to be corrupt are more likely to seek power. So you have this dichotomous situation, this two-pronged attack on our liberties, which is that corrupt people seek power and power does in fact corrupt.
Thanks, David, for the call tonight. Appreciate it. The toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. I mean, that takes us back around to this ICE story from the very beginning of the show, where ICE has entered into a contract, the Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, with Vigilant Solutions, a corporation that has ingested billions of license plate photos from a variety of different locations across the United States. And
they're here to help.
All those tags are dated with time, GPS coordinates. They have more than 100 million sightings per month that is being ingested into this system. And ICE agents can also receive instantaneous email alerts. So not only can they look up your license plate number and go do a background search and see where's this person been, or the car, where's the car been. They can also do email alerts to find out whenever they spot you in the system anew. The system known internally as a hot list, which the same alerts can be funneled to Vigilant's iOS app. According to the privacy assessment, as many as 2,500 license plates could be uploaded to the hot list in a single batch, although the assessment does not detail how often new batches can be added. With sightings flooding in from police dash cams and stationary readers on bridges and toll booths, it would be hard for anyone on the list to stay unnoticed for long.
Let me interject for a second. This brings up a question for me. What do you guys do when you've been pulled over by the police and the police start asking you questions that are not relevant to the stop? Like they start asking you where you're going and where you're coming from.
The best answer is I don't answer questions.
The first thing I do is
not
say,
legal advice.
When they come up, I say you're being audio and video recorded. And I've done this on multiple occasions, and that basically puts them on notice that this is going to be a very by-the-book conversation.
Yeah.
Right? I don't care if you give me a ticket because I'm going to take it to court. You're being audio and video recorded. All the evidence is being collected already. I have said one time you're being streamed live. Your audio and video is being streamed live to the internet, which is what I would prefer to say, but I just I can't seem to come up with that on the fly. And that then cuts down on all the chit-chat to find out what you're doing. But I'd say my best bet is to put the biggest smile you can on your face and make it look as genuine as possible and say something to the effect of, look, I'd love to have a conversation with you about this stuff, but the fact is that anything that I say can and will be used against me, so I'm just going to simply have to not answer questions today. Thanks so much.
That sounds good.
And Rick, that gets them the notice that, look, every day you choose to put on this badge, you're alienating your friends, your neighborhood, your neighbors, your family, because they know that that's what your job is.
We're going to come back with more here. Your calls and thoughts welcome. Our number is 855-450-FREE, the live Sunday edition of Free Talk Live here. 855-450-3733. You can get in the Discord on-air call-in line. Just join discord.lrn.fm. The app is free for pretty much any operating system. More on the way. You can take control of the airwaves here. This is Free Talk Live.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Thinking about getting into cryptocurrency? It's time you looked into Dash. Dash is digital money that you can use to send instant and private payments anywhere for pennies. Dash offers a decentralized network where miners are rewarded for keeping it strong and safe. Dash has made a huge impact in the crypto world. Start your journey. Check out Dash.org for more information and get in now on the future of cryptocurrency. Dash.org.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Cash. It's perfect for beginners, and the Bitcoin.com wallet makes using and holding Bitcoins easy. No logins are required. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at Zencash.com. That's Zencash.com.
I always dreamed of providing the nation with concise recaps of the week's events. One fateful summer in 1934, legendary onion mogul T. Herman Zwiebel was passing through our town to acquire an oil derrick when he overheard me calling in the oxen in my breathy baritone and offered me the opportunity of a lifetime. Yes, from the turbulent war times of the 1940s.
The Onion welcomes the majestic Axis armies as conquering heroes.
To the free-spirited 60s. And remember, there's nothing more cosmic than keeping your house insulated with Thermoflake brand asbestos. I can truly say I've been here for the turning of the ages. But now, viewers, my beautiful 19-year-old wife and I will take our much-deserved retirement to my Genevan chateau. I wish all of my detractors empty, destitute lives. And for my allies, I hope for all the pleasures availed by heaven. So, finally, let me say one last time, for more, keep checking theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to SaveItPurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. SaveItPurse.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. The call-in line, 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. This is Mark.
This is Johnny Ray.
That's right. Ian has stepped out of the studio for a minute. The studio beast, Jazzy girl, was having some alimentary canal issues that needed to be addressed.
Her bladder was full.
Yeah, and she's getting older, and you don't want to wait around for that kind of thing. So I support this move. As Ian's biggest critic, I still think this is a good idea. Let me tell you real quick about Anarchapulco. Ian and I shall be traveling there to participate. It's really the tough part of our job, Johnny Ray, I got to say. Traveling down in February to Acapulco, New Mexico.
Yeah, I envy you guys. You're always going hither and yon.
Yeah, it's nice. Hopefully hopefully it's as good of an event as it has been up to this point. I have been to 2 of the 3, I think that's correct. And the last one was well attended. This one, I think, is 3 times the size and sold out, if I'm not sold out, not quite sold out. Ian will know better than I will. But let me tell you about the speakers that are going to be there. It's G. Edward Griffin, Ron Paul, Jeffrey Tucker, Roger Ver, Larkin Rose, Jeff Berwick, Bruce Fenton, Brett Venat, Julia Taransky, Adam Kokesh, Vit Yedlika, Sterling Lujan. If you are Jordan Page, Backwards, and Rob Hustle are doing music there. If you are familiar with the Liberty Movement, you will understand how important many of these names are and what a good event this is going to be. It's going to be happening at the Princess Resort in Acapulco, New Mexico, February the 15th through the 18th. There are sort of lead-in events and after events too. So if you go to anarchapulco.com and check that out, you will in fact see all of the options, but there's lots of stuff. There's a health and wellness retreat. I wanted to go to that, just couldn't fit it into my schedule, but my wife and I wanted to go. Cryptopulco, which is basically the last day, and you already get tickets for that. Change Media University, an Amazonian ceremony called The Snake and the Jaguar.
Awesome.
I'm not exactly sure, but I suspect that substances that are not entirely legal in the United States but might be legal in Mexico are involved, and your results may vary. So anyway, you just go to anarchapulco.com. That's anarchapulco.com. Use coupon code FTL. Receive 10% off of a couple of different combos. I know that the wellness retreat you can get 10% off of, and Anarchapulco itself 10% off of, which of course Cryptopulco is part of. So there you go.
Ron Paul is going to be a huge, just a wonderful speaker and a big draw. I remember a few years ago he came to Keene. He was on the campaign trail, I believe.
Yeah.
And he came to speak, and I went and saw it. It was great. At the end, he was having his picture taken with anybody who wanted.
Sure, that's how presidential campaigns go.
Yep, I went up to get my picture taken. It was a singular moment for me because I was staring right at this guy that was something of an idol for me, and he was worn out from campaigning, and I was he just had this kind of neutral blank look on his face. And I got my picture taken, had a big smile, and he was just, fairly deadpan.
Yeah, well, you can forgive him with that situation going on. So let's go to the phones, to the fun. You can give us a call at 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE. I know there's Skype, which our username is lrn.fm, and then there's something to do with the Discord, of which I am not at all educated, and good luck to people that have to do with that. Let's go to Sarah, calling in from where, New Mexico. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Yes, I just wanted to mention that I did mention that my friend bought land 20 years ago to prepare for the Civil War.
Which Civil War? Who was fighting with whom in the Civil War?
For the poor people against the rich people in America. It's going to be American Civil War.
Where do the middle class, which is the largest amount of people, where do they fall?
Well, they're going to find out their retirement is gone, and then when they stop the Social Security payment, maybe the next government shutdown, they're going to take Social Security, and we're going to have an outright war. And so he's bought this land, and he's got this bus. So he planned, he said he's going to load me up and take me out there, I guess. And when everybody's shooting each other and rioting out in the big cities, hopefully at least I know one person that's going to take me out of here. So
you really
know,
think this is going to happen? Is this? I mean, you'd said that your friend bought the property, and that left me believing that you may not be entirely on board. Are you believing this is going to occur?
Believing what? The Civil War?
Yeah.
I know it's coming.
Okay.
Well,
who do you think is going to win? The poor people or the rich people? As you said, those were the teams. I didn't. Right?
Yeah, the poor against the poor people. They're going to take everything from us.
Us?
People like we're losing our retirement, and they're hoping that we're so stupid we can't figure it out.
So the rich people are taking. Who's taking what from whom here? Because a lot of rich people would say that the poor people are taking their money by taking stuff and not working. And the poor people would say, hey, we got a right to this thing or that thing because we were born and whatever. I'm not exactly sure how these rights work, the positive rights. But ultimately, it does come down to force, right? Like, to some extent, force is what makes a reality. So, sure, one group of people can enforce their will on another group of people. I gotcha.
Might mix real.
It might mix real.
Okay. Okay, here's the thing. Remember, we used to have a thing called the pension.
A pension?
For every dollar you put into the pension, the company would pay that. And then what they do is they put it into the 401k. It's in the stock market.
Yeah,
that's all we got now.
Things change dramatically.
Okay, now they're going to find out it's going to be all gone in about a couple of more years. Right, but they're saying
so,
that
like the 401ks will be squandered by Wall Street, and we'll find out that that we've been duped, that kind of thing.
Yeah, we're going to find out we have no retirement. It's going to be scratching our head, and then they're going to pull the rug out from under our feet. They're going to take Social Security because, like I said, it's a communist program, and they're going to take back all the communist program.
It's nothing like communism. All right.
Why not?
Well,
because communism has everybody participates equally and happily. Communism is heaven. Communism doesn't exist. It's never existed. When they try things like communes, where everybody sort of gives their wealth as they come in, they find a lot of people who don't have wealth that come in order to.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, live off of the people who are working there and those sorts of things.
Kind of like what Sarah does.
When they get better and things are better, they often depart the commune wealthier than they were, taking with them some level of wealth. And
there isn't that much there to take in the first place.
No, oftentimes that's the case. But you can take a look at the Shakers historically. That's a good place to look. And they have phenomenon, what they called winter shakers. People who are like, oh, well, I guess I'm not prepared for this cold season when I'm going to need food. I'm converting to Shakerism again.
Better stock up on your MREs now, Sarah.
Well, people are hiding guns right now. They've been hiding guns for 30 years.
Rich people are hiding guns, not poor people. All the best with that war. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. Free Talk Live.
The answer to being in control of your own healthcare is freedom from insurance. Become part of a group of self-pay patients that come together to share in each other's medical expenses. Individual share amounts begin at $107 a month and $347 for families. Choose from 3 health-sharing programs. Holistic treatments may be eligible for sharing. See guidelines. Discount programs available for dental, vision, and pharmacy. Go to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed. The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Armistice Day was a day dedicated to world peace, a day to perpetuate peace through goodwill and mutual understanding. This sentiment was lost when Congress renamed the day in 1954. So Antiwar.com is reclaiming November 11th as Armistice Day, a celebration of hope and peace. Antiwar.com has been battling the war party for 22 years and has always been on the cutting edge of technology in this fight, having accepted Bitcoin donations for 5 years now. Antiwar.com is diving deeper into the cryptocurrency movement by adding Bitcoin Cash, Dash, and Zcash to its digital currency donation options. And to celebrate, Bitcoin.com has pledged $20,000 in crypto matching funds through December 31st. Help Antiwar.com accelerate into the future with a cryptocurrency donation today.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You may join us on the radio here. Take control of the airwaves at 855 450 free like freedom. That's 855 450 3733. Whether it's a ridiculous proposition of a civil war or whatever other conspiracy theory, you can, of course, bring up anything that you want here. We really do allow that, and that last call proves it. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian,
Johnny Ray,
and Mark.
A couple quick points here, Mark. I was listening as I was walking the dog outside. The Anarchapulco event, as I understand it, is sold out, and that's the reason why they're going to do live-streamed speeches this year, because they figure you can't make it now since it's sold out, even if you wanted to, so you can watch it from home, which isn't exactly the same experience. But if there was somebody you really wanted to see speak, you will presumably, as long as all the technical stuff works right, be able to see it as it happens, which is pretty cool. We'll look forward to seeing you there. Also, Zencash is something you need to be checking out. If you are a liberty-loving voluntarist, if you're dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization, Zencash is a cryptocurrency worth a look. It started in 2017. And they actually use voluntarism as one of the their points in their white paper. So the people behind Zencash are people who are on board with the ideas of liberty.
And not hiding it.
Yeah, and that's important because there's a bunch of different cryptos out there, and anybody can copy code from any of the other cryptos, since most all of them are open source. So it's not hard for them to get some of the best technology. I mean, they've got that. They've got zero-knowledge anonymity. They've got decentralized autonomous organizations. But do you want to go with a cryptocurrency that's run by statists, or do you want to go with a cryptocurrency that's run by people who actually care about freedom? So go to Zencash.com.
Cryptocurrency that's been taken over by statists.
Let's go to go to Zencash.com to do your research. Again, I'm not an investment advisor. I'm not saying Zencash is going to be the top crypto in the world, but it's out there. It's technically sound according to expert types. I am not the expert types, but they have them on the Crypto Hour on Call to Freedom. They got Aria Demezio from Cryptocurrency Check. It's a ratings site. She looked at Zencash. She gave it an A+. So
also, I would point out that if you choose to believe that this is an indicator of a cryptocurrency's value, that the cryptocurrencies that have been advertised and promoted on Free Talk Live, maybe because of this, maybe it's just coincidence, but they've all gone up exponentially.
Well, I'm going to say that's a coincidence, but
that's what you would always say.
Yeah.
That's the way you are about it. But the reality is that Free Talk Live is the first place that Bitcoin was talked about in the mass media. That Free Talk Live has been in crypto since the very beginning, and that it is listened to by tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands, depending on the evening, of people. So they take note of that stuff.
So get ready, because all those cameras that you've seen on the side of the road that you've been wondering, what are those there for? Well, it might be scanning your license plate and reporting that data back to massive databases being kept by private corporations that are then being used by governments like the ICE people, the Immigrations and Customs Enforcement. According to TheVerge.com and their story about how this can be used to not only track where you've been over the last 5 years, all you got to do is type in your license plate number. They can also set up alerts to find out where you're going, find out where you pop up on this grid of license plate readers that is across the United States at any moment. And according to The Verge, these powers are particularly troubling given ICE's recent move to expand deportations beyond criminal offenders, fueling concerns of politically motivated enforcement. In California, state officials have braced for rumored deportation sweeps targeted at sanctuary cities. In New York, community leaders say they've been specifically targeted for deportation as a result of their activism. With automated license plate recognition, that targeting would only grow more powerful. For civil liberties groups, the implications go far beyond immigration. Senior policy analyst Jay Stanley with the ACLU, who studies license plate readers, he says, quote, "There are people circulating in our society who are undocumented. Are we as a society, out of our desire to find those people, willing to let our government create an infrastructure that will track all of us?"
So this is the classic government axiom, which is never let a good crisis go to waste. Do we need license plate readers in order to secure our borders and keep out the illegals? Because this is, basically what you warn of all the time, Ian, is that, look, you can get rid of illegals by making America a place to live in that is so tyrannical and awful and impoverished that they go away.
It's worse than where they came from at that point.
Tyranny, autocracy, better terms, order, right? These things, these are all indicative of a society that is on its way down.
Mm-hmm.
Down from a financial standpoint, down from a liberty standpoint, down from a historical standpoint. Do you want this in your society, this one more step towards 1984? Is that what you're looking for?
Right.
Are illegals so terrible? What are they doing that is so awful that you need...
Picking fruit.
Right.
Building houses.
Mowing grass. Right? Some of them certainly take social welfare programs. Now, the evidence...
being the wrong color and smelling funny.
I think maybe that is that way for some people, but most people would say, look, illegals use social welfare programs. They eat up tax money, and we shouldn't be having them.
I think that's a rationale.
I think it could be, if depending on whose numbers you look at. In many cases, illegals are less likely to use those services than people who are here legally.
We call them undocumented immigrants.
I don't care.
Legal is such a...
The term doesn't bother me particularly, one way or the other. So,
Yeah.
if I'm willing to talk people's language and use their defined terms if that's what they want, undocumented, illegal, it doesn't matter to me. I say
These are human beings.
I'd posit the notion that every human being inside the borders of the United States is an illegal. If you want to talk about people breaking laws, every single one of you who's listening to me has broken a law today because we have too many laws. The problem is laws. The legality is the problem, not the people.
And the problem is also that people are blind by their desire to control others. They look at these people who are immigrating here as the enemy, as the scapegoat, the problem that needs to be stopped, and they're ignoring what the ACLU analyst here points out is that you're going to create a control grid system to try to stop these people, but yet you didn't think for a moment that what if somebody who I don't like gets in charge of this new system that I've cheered on to build? Have there ever been people in Washington, D.C. that I don't like? Let me think real hard about this. How long has it been since someone has been in Washington, D.C. that I don't like? Is there a possibility that somebody else might get in control of Washington, D.C. in the future who I don't like? Or do I want to believe that things are always going to go in my way in Washington, D.C. from here on out? This is the new America where power never changes hands. It always stays in the hands of the people who are going to do exactly what you want them to do in Washington, D.C. I mean, what a delusion.
It's a ridiculous notion.
You're delusional if that's what you believe.
Right.
This is going to be used against people like you for something someday, whether it's to come get your guns or whatever it is.
Yeah, this is handing over power to the enemy, whomever you might be. Look, I'm with you. I don't like the fact that people coming across the border seem to be more voting for Democrats than they are voting for Republicans. I think the Republicans
most of them aren't voting
marginally better on a state level than Democrats. But, well, no, I mean, once they become citizens, like the path to citizenship, the fear is we let these people in, they all vote Democrat, they change the dynamics in there, and suddenly we have a state that's we have a government that's as bankrupt as New York and Illinois and
many
California.
Hispanics are conservative Catholic types.
Well, that much is true, but they're not voting Republican because the Republicans since 9/11 have lost their collective minds. They've run around and gone, brown people, right? And but George Bush, if you look at his governor election and his presidential election, Mexicans in Texas voted for George Bush in both occasions. Muslims across the nation voted for George Bush. Republicans had these contingents locked down. And when I say contingents, I'm talking about Mexican Democrats, Texas Mexicans as opposed to California Mexicans. They're a bit different from a voting standpoint. They had them locked down, and they lost it. They lost it with politics of hate. You don't have to I use that term, but that's how they perceive it.
855 450 free like freedom. Join us.
Live from the Verticoin studio, this is the call to freedom. It's the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium 47 here on LRN.FM. When you hear the faucet, be caller 5 to get some free coins. This is the call to freedom.
Thinking about getting into cryptocurrency? It's time you looked into Dash. Dash is digital money that you can use to send instant and private payments anywhere for pennies. Dash offers a decentralized network where miners are rewarded for keeping it strong and safe. Dash has made a huge impact in the crypto world. Start your journey. Check out Dash.org for more information and get in now on the future of cryptocurrency. Dash.org.
Non-attorney paid spokesperson. Could your house go into foreclosure? Are you behind on your mortgage payments? Does it seem like the bank has no interest in helping you save your home? And you feel like you have nowhere to turn for help? Then we have good news for you. Foreclosure Protection Services can help save your home as they specialize in foreclosure assistance. That's all they do. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, being threatened with foreclosure, have been denied a loan modification, or been the victim of a predatory loan, it's critical that you call Foreclosure Protection Services now at 800-667-9035. Their network of attorneys and their agents are available to speak to you now. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, Foreclosure Protection Services can help stop the foreclosure process. Call today before it's too late. New laws are in effect that may save your home. Call Foreclosure Protection Services now at 800-667-9035. 800-667-9035. That's 800-667-9035.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments around the world killing innocent people? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin is money that cannot be inflated or controlled by any state. By continuing to use their money, you're perpetuating the killing. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available to you now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. It's Bitcoin.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. Moments remain here. Enough time for you. If you get on the lines right now, we can get you in at 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. You may Skype in at Skype username LRN.FM, and you can join us on the Discord on-air call-in line over at discord.lrn.fm. We told you earlier about the Discord chat, which allows you to interact with other Free Talk Live listeners and some of the hosts. I don't think all of the co-hosts have yet quite signed up for it. Mark, you're not in there yet, are you?
I haven't gone in there.
I didn't think so. But I'm in there, and a bunch of other hosts are, so head on over to discord.lrn.fm. The other new feature that we have is our new HD video streaming on Twitch, which we launched probably like 3 weeks ago at this point. And it's gone very well. We've got over 30 people who've taken the time to subscribe to us on Twitch. So thank you for doing that, because every subscription is basically, a couple bucks towards Free Talk Live and LRN.FM.
Half of an amp.
Basically. Although it costs as much as the amp because it's like a $5 per month thing if you do the regular subscription. But I think all 30 of the people who've done it are doing what's called the Twitch Prime, which actually doesn't cost you anything extra. If you already have Amazon Prime, it's one of the perks they give you. I know, Mark, I think you guys have Amazon Prime at your house, right? Yeah. So you get free Amazon Video that you can watch online, right? Like there's
lots
certain,
of it. Yeah,
there's certain bonuses.
Some things you have to pay for, but you can watch enough television. You'll never watch all the free movies and TV that
there's
are available.
Like Amazon Music, and there's like other freebies that they just kind of throw in to incentivize you to get this Amazon Prime thing for the free shipping. And one of the freebies is you get a subscription that you can allocate to your favorite Twitch channel. Now, there's a bunch of Twitch channels out there, but if you want to help us out and you've got Amazon Prime, just go to twitch.lrn.fm, and that'll be our Twitch channel. You pull down the subscriptions pull down and select Twitch Prime, and then it'll toss your Twitch subscription freebie into our war chest, if you will. So thank you to everybody who's taken the time.
Twitch.lrn.fm.
That's right. And that's where you can watch the shows when we're live. It also shows any other show that's live from the LRN studios. So like Vincent's show last night was on the Twitch channel. The Call to Freedom during the week, Monday through Friday, before our show, 4 to 7 Eastern Time, is also on the Twitch channel. So it's a great place to go and watch the new HD video feed here. And actually tonight, there's something special that's going to happen on the LRN Twitch, which is going to be the Twitch premiere of Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Because one of the things you can do that I learned recently within the last week on Twitch, besides live stream, and again, Twitch was originally created as a video game streaming service, but they've sort of branched out into some other areas now. But besides just live streaming content, you can also schedule pre-recorded content. So any video that you have that you upload to the Twitch service, you can set a premiere time. So I figured, let's try this out. Let's see how this works. Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree, of course, has been around now for 5 years. We celebrated its 5th year anniversary back in September of 2017, and this will be the first time it's seen on Twitch. It starts at 10 o'clock Eastern Time tonight, so as soon as Free Talk Live is done with, stay tuned if you're on Twitch at twitch.lrn.fm. And that will allow you to watch Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. And it'll be different than just watching it on YouTube because the Twitch chat room will be active. So Twitch has its own room in which people who are watching the Twitch feed can chat with one another. Sometimes it's kind of dead in there because a lot of our chatters are in the Discord. But in this case, if you want to talk to other people about the movie while you're watching it, it'll be there for you. So check it out at twitch.lrn.fm. Once again, that's Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree, which of course you can watch anytime you want over on YouTube in HD, but it'll be fun to kind of watch it live as it streams on Twitch. Let's go to your calls and thoughts here. Marcia is in Albuquerque listening to Kiva. Hey, Marcia.
Yeah. Hi. I wanted to say about the, knowing your identity. I think they've known it for a very long time already. We have the Real ID law in New Mexico, and when I had to renew my driver's license, I was there for 6 hours, and I had to go away. I had to bring them a current bill of my credit card account. They made a couple of copies of my credit card. I had to bring them my birth certificate, my electric bill, and then also we had in Albuquerque, we don't have it now, red light cameras that would take pictures of your driver's license. My smartphone knows everything about me. As I'm talking to you now, or whatever I say, it's going to come up. And the Facebook account is battling with the Yahoo account. I mean, I feel kind of honored someone's interested, and the Yahoo and the Google, and they all know me already. I mean, whenever I go someplace, oh, what's your name? Or something, but we got you in the computer. They all share the information, and I think in the 90s, I'm sure of it, on my driver's license, my Social Security card was on my New Mexico driver's license.
Yeah, there are some states that have that, I think.
They don't have it now, but I'm not really worried. If they want to swap identities with me, anybody, I'm going to come out the winner. I mean, they can have my family. And
you could have my radio co-host.
Well, I want to say the worst thing, well, I do worry about that is maybe they will deport me for just being a regular American citizen. That's all. And I do think with all the national, disasters that we've had, like Florida may be changing its demographics, because I believe lots of people probably came from Puerto Rico to Florida after the Hurricane Irma. But as far as identity goes, I mean, they got me. I think they can even get you by your eyeballs now.
Yeah, it's probably true.
There's a lot of wonderful advantages to living a transparent life and having people or groups know things about you. But the problem with the government of New Mexico or the government of the United States is you've got no option. They will know these things about you, and they're going to exploit the data that they have about you, and they're not going to do that. But in the free world, you can opt in.
The one that exists in our mind.
Yeah, you
doesn't really exist.
Yeah, in the free world, you can choose to become a part of this stuff. There was a story once about a young girl who was informed that she was pregnant, and she didn't know it. But she learned from Target sending her an email, I think, with coupons for pregnant mothers type stuff.
How did they find this out?
Because they saw that she had switched from scented soaps to unscented soaps, and they determined from that she was pregnant.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I think I may have heard this at some point.
Yeah,
she
didn't know. She didn't know. Her dad was furious about it. And then maybe
was he furious because they knew she was pregnant, or furious because she was pregnant?
They were furious that they were that they were accusing her of being pregnant when she was obviously not old enough or or responsible enough to do something like that.
Is the idea that, and thank you, Marcia, for your call tonight. I appreciate it. Is the idea that a pregnant woman is more sensitive to certain smells, and so that's why she would not get a scented
Sounds right to me. What the hell do I know?
Yeah,
wow.
I think in the first trimester, women are very sensitive to smells, and they can be nauseated by the smell of a fresh onion.
Wow. Maybe you were in fact pregnant, Ian.
I'm not a woman.
You are darned sensitive to smell, though.
Okay. The new license plate reader contract, we're talking about the ICE folks that are going to be tracking your every move on the roads, has come after years of internal lobbying by the agency. They first tested the system in 2012, gauging how effective it was at locating undocumented immigrants. 2 years later, they issued an open solicitation for the technology, sparking an outcry from civil liberties groups. Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson canceled the solicitation shortly afterward, citing privacy concerns, although 2 field officers subsequently formed rogue contracts with Vigilant, in apparent violation of the policy. In 2015, Homeland Security issued another call for bids, although an ICE representative said no contract resulted from that solicitation, and as a result, this new contract is the first agency-wide contract ICE has completed with the company, a fact that's reflected in accompanying documents. In December of last year, Homeland Security issued an updated privacy assessment of license plate reader technology, which they explained was necessary because, quote, ICE has now entered into a contract with a vendor, unquote. The new system places some limits on ICE surveillance, but not enough to quiet concerns. Unlike many agencies, ICE won't upload new data to Vigilant's system, but will simply scan through the data that's already there. In practical terms, that means driving past a Vigilant-linked camera might flag a car to ICE, but driving past an ICE camera won't flag a car to everyone else using the system. That's, cold comfort in this situation. License plates
I feel better already.
On the hot list will also expire after 1 year, and the system retains extensive audit logs to help supervisors trace back any abuse of the system.
Yeah, that couldn't happen.
The whole thing's an abuse. Still, the biggest concern for critics is the sheer scale of Vigilant's network, assembled almost entirely outside of public accountability. Quote, if ICE were to propose a system that would do what Vigilant does, there would be a huge privacy uproar, and I don't think Congress would approve it, but because it's a private contract, they can sidestep that process. That's the story from TheVerge.com.
That's the definition of fascism.
Total tracking of all of your locations as you drive around. It's coming soon. And we'll see you tomorrow night. You can join us online in the meantime at freetalklive.com. If you're at twitch.lrn.fm, stay tuned for Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Have a great night.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about